Welcome to the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast.
If you like a lot of wrestling on your YouTube, join our cult. Hello and welcome to the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast. This week we are joined by not just Jack the Jobber,
hello,
the usual lovely contrarian we enjoy talking to and listening to on the podcast. Not only myself and possibly Puppet Jack, an old joke that won't go away. Not only Mr. Tom Campbell.
Oh, it's a Tom episode. Oh,
it's a Tom episode.
Cancel.
But also, if that wasn't enough, another guest star. The caterpillar on Jack's lip. How are you doing, caterpillar?
Oh, Maffew chose death today.
Oh, sorry.
No,
is that too harsh?
No, not at all. It's because of the football. I can't shave now. England might lose. So, and then I was telling my girlfriend, who's the real victim in all of this, and she said, "What if you don't shave and England lose?" And I was like, "Well, at least then I know it's not my fault because I've not changed anything. It's all it's all fine." I'm sure that there was more of a beard element to it, but in this lighting, it just looks like a tash.
Oh, don't stress on it. It looks fine.
No, I don't know if it does.
I think it's adorable, mate.
Has Bethany, when you say Bethany's the real victim here,
yeah,
has Bethany complained about the look or the little stabbies you get when you have a little kiss?
No,
because that's the complaint I get quite frequently. She little stabbies when you do a little kiss. Yeah.
She hasn't complained at all. I just mean that she has to be seen publicly with me, just out and about.
I'd like to point out that my complaints are from my partner, not Bethany. Just before that gets weird. Not been kissing Bethany.
I'll ask her afterwards. Hang on.
Don't ask her. Let me message her first.
Hang on. This is Tom's facial hair. It's good, Jack. No, you're looking good. You're looking fine. Just thought I'd say that before
Cheers,
the
mate.
pointers get the grubby mitts on it.
I
don't know what's better though. You looking like you're about to say some crazy conspiracies with that lovely look you got going on, the Boomhauer look, or the fact that if England win the Euros, which is a thing right now, and you still have that tash, you're going to take credit for the victory.
I'm not. I'm just gonna. I think it's something quite English about me. I won't take credit if we win. I'll just not feel at fault if we lose. That's the only.
I see. Oh, well, thank you for explaining that, Jack. How the hell are you, mate?
I'm all right, thank you, Matthew. I'm all right. I've had half of this week off, so it's been pretty good. It's been pretty chilled. So there's not much to report really. Just yet, my whole of yesterday was spent catching up on like all the wrestling that had happened this week. And boy, there was a lot of things. It was quite an eventful week. But how are you, Matthew? Anyway,
I'm very happy. It's always a wonderful thing to meet up with you lads, be it Jack or Ross or Tom or Pachidi, to do a podcast. It's always a blessing, and it means even more lovely interactions with Tom Campbell. Segway. How the hell are you, Tom?
I'm all right. I'm pagged this week because you know how Jack's done half a week. I've been working two jobs this week. You know, I'm I'm just grafting this week. I'm doing two jobs. I took on a lot of extra work at my other job. I sometimes do a bit of part-time work on the radio. I talk about it on the odd occasion. And this week, there've been a few presenters down. So what started off as me doing, can you cover a Monday afternoon, became, can you cover the Tuesday? Can you cover the Wednesday? Can you just stay on for the week? I was like, yeah, fine. So I'm sort of balancing doing my usual duties at Cultaholic, then nipping off to go and do a bit of radio in the afternoon, and then coming back and doing a bit more Cultaholic. And what I'm delighted with is like my new thing is I've been doing Couch to 5K since I was last, honoured to be on this here shoe. And I've managed to stick with it. Like we've just got on the board for week 6 of Couch to 5K. I've ran for and I'm it sounds like there'll be people who listen who won't see this as a great thing because it's just for some people they're fitter than I am. But like I ran for 20 odd consecutive minutes the other day, which I don't think I did in my 20s, let alone my late 30s. So we're on the board for another week of that, and it's been a busy week, but I'm blessed to be still wanted by people enough to be busy. Because that's the alternative, in it. You can become one of those people that become a ghost of the media and then nobody ever wants to work with you. So I'm very blessed to be this busy.
Do you when you're doing your couch to 5K? Is it 5K or 20K? Hang on.
Oh, it's 5K. Let's.
I was going to say.
Let's not do 20K.
If when you're doing your couch to 5K, do you do the same route, or have you been mixing it up around Newcastle town?
I've been mixing it up. I've found about 5 or 6 different routes and different circuits, because otherwise it gets a bit boring. I think you have to, just to keep yourself sane. But yeah, different routes every time. There's loads of apps that you can use for it as well. I highly recommend the Couch to 5K app, supported by the BBC, because you choose different voices to talk you through it. And I know there's like comedians and stuff on there who do it, and it just helps you to have that little voice in your head that pushes you on through. So big shout to Joe Wiley from BBC Radio 2, who's got me through the last couple of weeks doing it. But I feel better for doing it. It's a cliche to say, oh yeah, I always feel better for doing it. I'm not going to be one of those people that preach go running now, because it wasn't my cup of tea at first. But hey, give it a go, and if it's your thing, it might make you feel better. I've lost a stone doing it.
Really? Fair play.
Yeah, I can't see where from. I've definitely lost inches around my waist.
Oh no, I didn't mean really as in like, whoa, I can't.
No,
I just meant wow, that quick, like.
No.
Yeah.
My reaction was, when I stood on the scales, my reaction was, really, where? This isn't fair. Like, I want to be able to see it. But yeah, it's helped me. It might help you as well, if anything else.
Excellent stuff.
That is nice, though, to get an app that makes you run 20 minutes in Newcastle. So 5K also refers to the amount of Gregs you must pass on your journey, Tom.
You can do. A mate of mine for a radio feature years ago did a Greg's. Basically, they hit every Greg's. They did a Greg's relay. They hit every Greg's in the Newcastle area. I think it's 18. And he hit every single one. I had a sausage roll at every single one. I think.
I had a sausage roll at every one.
I had a sausage roll at every single one. And
this is 5K to couch then.
Yeah, 5K to RVI, I think. It's because we were saying before we even started, Jack has had the breakfast of champions this morning.
Yeah.
It's left you less perky than it should.
I had a Greg's because I woke up. I didn't get to sleep until later than I wanted last night, and then when I woke up, I was like, "Oh, need something to pick me up." But the only thing that was quickest enough to get delivered was a Greg's. So I'm full of pastry and stodge, but it'll be okay. I'll be fine. It'll be all right.
Farmer's breakfast.
Yeah.
Fought the farm. Fantastic. Well, sounds like we're all ready for this. The news. Get the negative stuff out the way first. Jimmy Uso arrested for DUI with a blood alcohol content, I believe it is, of 0.205. To recap, he had a DUI in 2011, in March 2013. He got arrested for apparently squaring up with a police officer in 2019, and that was the one. No, beg your pardon, I actually get that one mixed up. Then July the same year, that's the one where the Uso-Cena little interaction happened on Raw. When Cena said, "Hey, y'all look like your mugshots. How was it getting arrested?" Which they then had to cut out of the network broadcast because then he got arrested. Yeah. And now this week, it's not looking good, is it?
No, it's a repeated thing, and I read a report from Fightful saying that basically the last time the company line was like, people were asking WWE, why are you so quiet on this? And they said something to the effect of like, everyone's responsible for their own mistakes and he's doing all he can to. But this time, apparently people backstage are relieved that that's not the line that WWE are taking this time, because it's a repeated thing. Clearly he needs some kind of help. So it's not a good story, is it, to be honest?
Yeah. That report was a few days ago. By the time this podcast, so obviously I'm sure something will happen by the time we put this out, Sod's Law as they call it, this hasn't been any word.
Oh, right, okay.
They said something is they said they're going to be making a call on it soon, whatever that might be. I imagine it'll be taking Jimmy off TV for a while again, and it's just it's heartbreaking, because this is clearly somebody that's got a problem, and this needs to be seen to now. This needs to be dealt with, and it's just rough. Of all the times, of all the places to do it, you're involved in the hottest angle that WWE has going at the moment, and really tough. And I think everybody, there's memes and stuff doing the rounds because nothing's off the table anymore with anything like this. And you just remember that Jimmy's got a family, and it's an awful situation. And I hope he gets the help that he needs. That's all you can say, isn't it? Really.
You're right. Let's move on. CM Punk's loss to Mike Jackson. Wait, hang on. This isn't very relevant, Maffew. You're reading the right script. UFC 225 has been overturned to a no contest. The report noted that Jackson was stripped of a win after he tested positive for marijuana on fight night. However, the change in result to the June 2018 fight wasn't reported publicly until now. So Jackson tested positive for something marijuana, according to the commission disciplinary document. As a result, CM Punk's professional MMA record now reads 0-1-0 with one no contest.
Best in the world! CM Punk! Yes!
Look in my eyes! When MMA Junkie's Instagram post brought up this point, Jackson brushed it off and said the website's opinion was irrelevant. Attaboy, Jackson.
This is just a very late news. This is the equivalent of getting a £2 credit from Deliveroo 6 months after you had your dinner. It's nice and all, but it doesn't really make much difference right now, does it?
Yeah.
No. That fight was the one that I didn't watch. I remember watching the first one when he got beaten quite comprehensively. Apparently this one was more just disappointing. I just fizzled. The guy didn't put him away, so he got criticised for it. But he probably had the munch. Oh, no.
Everything's on his mind.
Yeah.
Watching repeats of Ed, and Eddie all night, that'll do it to you. And if
I've been compared to Double D in the past from Ed, and Eddie.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he wears a hat, he wears a black beanie sometimes, yeah. He wears one. It's his, yeah. But he's the one who's nervous.
He's neurotic.
He's the neurotic, clever one. Is Double D.
Yeah. At least it wasn't Ed either.
I like buttered toast.
Yeah, that's a very... Oh, wow. That's a very good impression.
I was Ed. I wasn't Ed.
Oh, if I'm Eddie in that case, then... I always got the slick back hair at this point. And the crazy shirts. Oh, no.
There you go.
I'll take it. I was like them.
Do. Yes. We're all here.
As a kid, I'd like,
disturbing show
what a day.
of weird... Cartoon Network had some weird... Do you remember Courage the Cowardly Dog?
I do love
It's coming
Courage the Cowardly
back.
Dog.
What?
There's a crossover.
Home.
It's coming home. There's a Courage the Cowardly Dog crossover with Scooby-Doo later this year. That's the thing. It looks good. It looks good.
Okay.
It's like Rock versus Cena for dogs.
Twice in a lifetime. Yeah, it's happening. It's a thing that's happening. Courage and the Scooby-Doo crossover. Just go with it. Trust the process. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I have to meet you, Courage. Yoinks. I have to meet
Forget about Muriel. Bam, she's not a factor.
This isn't about Red. This isn't about Reggie. This is about Reggie. About you and me.
Oh, God.
I didn't run you over, Austin.
And Courage is like, I did it for Muriel.
I did it for Muriel. I did it for the slab. Return the slab.
Also, if that wasn't old enough news, someone tweeted, proof of match fixing in Roman-era Egypt was discovered on a papyrus fragment detailed AD 267.
We did something on this 2 years ago. I'm livid that it's doing the rounds now. No, it's obviously, it's been around for obviously millions of years.
Similar. Yeah.
Wrestling Curiosities, the podcast that I do on the regular, which is wrestling documentary bits. We did a whole 20-minute special on the first fixed wrestling match.
Oh, that was that.
Yeah.
So this doing the rounds again and flipping Tucker retweeting it, and I've been that person going, do you want to listen to this? Because it's a whole documentary about the match, the lead up to it, what the papyrus says, and it's all there. So if you dig around in the archives of Cultaholic, there is a documentary on this papyrus and the fixing of the wrestling match.
Let's not talk about that one. Go and watch Tom's wrestling curiosities.
There you go.
Is it
Wrestling Curiosities.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. Do it.
What a wonderful segue. Speaking
What
of
a great
wrestling,
segue.
Yeah, thank you. Speaking of wrestling curiosities, WWE contracts. Tommy End showed up on AEW Dynamite. People thought, bloody hell, that was a quick 90 days. Turns out, Black was released from WWE on Wednesday, June 2nd, 35 days ago. Though Black had been on WWE's main roster since early 2019, there seems to have been an error in his contract. Whereas a released main roster talent has a 90-day non-compete period, released NXT talents only have a 30-day non-compete. Black's contract, according to Mike Johnson, a PW Insider, was never properly upgraded upon coming to the main roster. This means his non-compete period lapsed after 30 days. So
there was a bit of panic. Sorry, go on, Jack.
Reminds me of at What Culture. They forgot to ever give me a work email. So I was cool with that. I just used my own. And I just felt like I had a superpower. Because they'd require that all correspondence would go through the work emails, which I'm guessing they could see. Which isn't... I'm not saying that's like evil empire stuff. It's just a company thing. But I could just use my own. And I was buzzing. And I just never mentioned it. Also never mentioned that I can drive. And I never had to drive anybody to or from a wrestling show. Because they thought I may have been too young even though to drive a rental at the time. Maybe. So it might have been irrelevant. But I kept that really quiet as well. Yeah.
But she kept on talking to the other people in the office. Oh, Eddie.
What?
Do you want to go for some Nesquik and stuff? So they just assumed you couldn't drive.
Is this me being Double D from Ed
Get some gobstoppers.
I would like some Nesquik.
Yeah. When Joe Hendry comes in to sign some shirts, we'll all go out for some food.
Why do you assume this was me? I was one of the stars of the show. I was one of the main attractions.
And I'm behind the scenes,
So was
like the
Double
fact
D.
that you're Double D. Yeah, Double D's he's in the title.
He's in the title.
Yeah, Joe Hendry just had Plank. I don't know.
With the Malachi Black thing, the 30-day thing, like somebody within WWE knew that there had been an error somewhere, but they didn't know with who. So Buddy Murphy had a chat with Fightful from SeanRossSapp.com. And he said there that he had a panicked phone call from WWE going, just want to check you've got 30 days on your contract. Do you want to upgrade it to 90 or not? Quickly now. And they went, no, mine's 90. Oh, okay, it's not you. All right, bye. Yeah. So you can imagine everybody had a phone call that morning. Do you want to upgrade to 90? We've got 90. Oh, okay, bye.
I saw a very funny tweet. I don't know who it was by. You know when you don't follow the person, but it's been liked by people that you follow. One of them might have been Maffew, I'm not sure. But it was genuinely surprised that Aleister Black didn't complete the full 90 days out of respect for Vince McMahon. It's like, wow. Because he's spent all his time since being released going like, it was great. It was so good there.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It's weird how like a lot of people seem to turn online on Aleister Black because he didn't come out and go, to hell with WWE.
I know.
Like, no.
I know.
I'm like, these are just wrestlers. Sorry.
I'm glad he was happy there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll do very well here. I mean, it's Aleister Black. It's Malachi Black.
It's Malachi Black, and he'll be
Malachi
fine.
Black.
That video that he put out just before it was so good.
Andrew was telling me about this. Apparently, he's like, I can't see out of my eye. And the doctors were like, what? And he was like, it got pushed into some ring steps. And they're like, that never happened. That was all in your head.
That's a great way.
Yeah, it's
like,
good, isn't it? Yeah.
The whole
wakes up
idea
in bed in, next to some dub x dub wrestler, goes, what's up? He goes, I had this dream. I was in America. What?
And he just goes back to doing dub x dub like nothing happened.
Yeah. So I'm not wrestling like the Garden next week. No, you're doing dub x dub. You're in Dusseldorf. Oh, all right.
Why has no released wrestler done that yet? Where their time, the 90 days comes up, and it's just them in the bed going, oh, what a weird dream! What a funny dream! I want at least one of them to do that.
Yeah.
To do like, or wake up and suddenly like their past self is in the shower. Like, it was a dream sequence all along, like in Dallas.
Yes. That worked really well for Dallas, didn't it? The twist.
It really did, mate. They had the best ratings ever after that.
That's right.
I've never... carry on.
As a Dallas references, there we go. We're hitting the old reference.
Dallas, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Oh, now there's a difference between
AD
Dallas...
237.
There's a difference between Dallas and the Attitude Era of cartoons. Come on.
Is that what it is? The Attitude Era?
Oh, that was the Attitude Era, definitely. You had that and Nickelodeon just going head to head. Oh, incredible.
The original, the original, everything that came off of what a cartoon, like the Cow and Chicken, the Powerpuff Girl. That
Cow and
that
Chicken.
is,
Yeah.
Cow
What?
chicken, Powerpuff Girls,
Dexter's Lab.
Dexter's Laboratory.
Dexter's Lab.
No. Cartoon. No.
What was that? What?
Johnny Bravo.
That couldn't fly today.
That would not fly today.
What do you mean?
not
Why do
fly
people say
today.
stuff like that about Johnny Bravo? You're supposed,
I
you know he's
suppose
an
it was
idiot.
ironic. Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was, to be
even
fair,
kids
yeah.
can appreciate irony. Wow, I want to be like that guy, getting beat up by all the women he talks to.
Yeah, true.
He's so good at picking up women.
I feel like we're missing a big one. Maybe we're not.
They're all
Where
big
was
ones.
Where was Recess? It wasn't on
And the
Cartoon
other one,
Network.
hey, that was the evil Disney empire.
I like Recess though.
Was it Disney? Yeah.
I've been compared to TJ before physically.
Now that I get.
Okay.
I get TJ from Recess.
Yeah.
It was it around that time that Disney bought Doug and just decided we're just going to put this in the bin and we're going to swing
Doug
it
was
around the
already
bin.
in the bin.
No,
He was already in the bin.
you shut your mouth, mate. I will come round there.
Up
If you
next, a
dis-
cartoon. Yay! Young me, so happy. I love cartoons. What's it going to be? It's Doug. Oh, God.
Oh, you! I'll be round there, and I'll tan your behind if you start slagging off Nickelodeon era Doug.
promises.
It was when Doug got called up to Disney that they don't know how to book him,
With the
so
black
it
eye.
just went wrong.
It's at this point that I wish our podcast set up where like Richard had a live mic as well, rather than just being like in our ears, because I think he'd have some like cool cartoon opinions. I bet he'd be like, Samurai Jack was good, lads, and we'd be like, ooh, yes.
Oh, nice shout on Samurai Jack.
I never watched it, but I imagine Richard was a fan. I'm just guessing.
Can we not bring Richard in?
Richard?
No,
just
so-
saying our ear for a
just
second.
just
You got any good cartoon shouts from that era? If he's there,
He can't be heard, so we can just say anything.
please go on. Oh, he doesn't know. He just doesn't know. He just gives a non-answer.
Space Ghost.
The
Coast
coolest
to
of
coast.
all.
What a good pick.
Harvey
yeah, you're right. he's a
Birdman,
good one.
attorney at law.
Pinky in the Brain. I mean, that's
yes.
a good one, but it wasn't a different era. All right, I'll take it.
Heathcliff and Marmaduke.
We did finish.
No,
What are you
Heathcliff.
doing here?
Guys, I've just got one eye on the runtime, obviously. We did
did
finish
this for an
the
hour,
rest
it'll be
of-
fine.
we did finish the news, didn't we? Or did we?
No, we hadn't.
No.
We got
I think we've done like 2
Damn it.
stories.
I beg your pardon. We'll move on to wrestling, I guess. There's an interesting thing that happened with Tommy Dreamer and Terry Funk this week. Tommy Dreamer provided an update on the health of Terry Funk after Don Morocco revealed that the 77-year-old Funk was battling dementia and living in an assisted living facility, which prompted a lot of people to get very upset at the idea of someone so beloved by wrestling fans in the wrestling industry having dementia. So Dreamer went, sod it, I'll ring him, and had a lovely conversation. And in Dreamer's own words, he was and is sharp as a tack. I'm talking about college for my daughters, the wrestling business. He knows about AEW. He calls it From Dusty's Boys. He talks about Vince and knows about the Peacock Network. Wow. He's in assisted living, but he still has his home. He's 77. His daughter's worried because he's alone. Sometimes he's forgetful, has a rough patch with his health. But ever since he's moved to assisted living, he's been in better, I don't want to say spirit, but more with it. And then he carried on, and once the Dreamer told him about everyone talking about him online, Funk said, fantastic. He calls you back, he says, tell me all the stuff. He says they need to go out and make money with this. He says, we're going to make money off of this Seeker's kid, a.k.a. Roman Reigns. Not him and me and you. I'm coming out of retirement. Let's do it. I can still draw. Yes! I heard the ratings are in the toilet. And then Tommy Dreamer says, I hang up. He calls me back and he's like, I'm either going to get arrested. I'm thinking of taking off all my clothes, running around in the street and beating people up. We'll make money on this somehow. If they think I'm crazy, we'll show them I'm crazy. God bless you. Forever. So the good news there that Terry Funk doing all right, as
Seeker's
Terry Funk
kids,
can be.
Seeker's kid's the best,
Seeker's kid,
yeah,
bro. I mean,
so good.
that's. Oh. They didn't talk about old cartoons like I Are Baboon.
I are Baboon and I am Weasel.
They don't make them like they don't like they used to.
Oh, I still remember when they used to advertise cigarettes during the Flintstones.
It's good. It's good that he's doing better than everybody feared.
Yes.
Sorry to just.
No, you're right.
it's
Actually, no, thank you, Jack, for being a normal person there. And it just goes to show that you shouldn't trust everything you read online, especially new dirt sheet writer Don Morocco. It is amazing how one tweet can cause everyone going, oh God, Terry, oh no, and then Tommy Dreamer rings up, no, he's fine. He's Terry.
Oh, bless him.
So yeah, and is there any other wacky news before we talk about stuff? No, you know what? I think that's enough news for now. We should move on to the other segments where we don't talk about wrestling.
Everybody get excited for the Cultaholic Hall of Fame!
Now it's time for everyone's favourite segment, the Hall of Fame. In condescending order from last week, Blue Cane, 18%. Blue Cane messaged me to say thank you for the discussion of me on the podcast. Really appreciate it. I told Jack this because I assumed he told Jack, being that it was Jack's pick, and Jack went, he didn't pick me. He didn't message me. I should say. He didn't message me. And then Jack said, I hope he doesn't win. So there you go. It's a hollow victory for you, Jack.
In your face.
In fairness, Blue Cane did tweet me. So, you know. He's all right. You're all right, Blue Cane.
That's gotta be Blue Cane.
Don't be Blue Cane. Andrew Hodgkinson, real life heel, 34%.
I've forgotten what he did. He locked the office in the building.
Oh, that's right. Yes, the real life drama story. Oh, that was good.
Do I not get a nod for that as well? Because I did that too.
I didn't want to mention it because we hadn't cleared it with you yet. But
it's fine.
Wait, did I mention it? I might have mentioned it.
You messaged me and you said I mentioned it, and I haven't listened
that's
back
fine.
to
As long as
last week
right.
yet,
So I did the classic: ask for forgiveness, not for permission. Okay,
that's
right,
it.
cool.
I was sat at home. and Alex was at home, and I saw the message come through about locking the grill, locking people in the building. And I was like, you won't believe what Andrew did. And then the penny dropped. I've just done exactly the same thing.
I had a great time. I described it as like one of the first 2 missions in a Grand Theft Auto game where it's so simple. Like you don't need to shoot anyone, you don't need to do anything difficult. I just had to walk down the street, check a building was open, and then have a brief conversation, which I imagine was my cutscene, and then walk back to where I began. And I was like, mission passed. What's it like? Respect. Close. Yeah.
And then you turn on all weapons sheet and shoot a grenade at a helicopter.
Yeah. A tank appeared in the middle of Stoddard Street, and I got it. Yeah.
Love GTA.
But you know
GTA
what
6 is out in 2025, I think they said.
Yeah.
They've pitched it quite far ahead because they want to avoid video game crunch. So I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But then everyone's gone, if I've got to wait this long, I want to be able to walk into a perfect replication of my house in this game and live my own boring life through GTA.
Well, I've thought before, what would a Grand Theft Auto Tyne and Weir be like? That would be amazing.
Oh, you'd still get stuck in traffic all the time, Rich.
Oh, yes, you would.
Yeah, because all these people running around trying to get fit, blocking the entrance. But the clear winner, Tyler Breeze, 48%.
Yeah, that was you, Maffew, I think.
It was. Yeah. Me and Tyler have so much in common. Hair.
Every hair in place.
Bless you. That's all I could get out before I sneeze. So, thank you very much, the lovely voters for Cultaholic. I'll go first then, because I won. Ha ha ha. Because of the Terry Funk news, I was reminded about a lovely story from Terry Funk's autobiography involving him and the Insane Clown Posse. Oh, no. This is Terry Funk's words. The Insane Clown Posse is a pair of rappers, Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope, who paint their faces up like clowns. They're also completely insane and a couple of wrestling fans. They put out a videotape where they were commentating on old matches. One of the matches had me versus Abdullah the Butcher, and they kept knocking us and laughing at us. Look at those 2 big goofs acting like they're wrestling. Ho, ho, ho. After I heard about that, every time someone told me they were going to see the Insane Clown Posse, I said, tell them if I see them, I'm going to go ahead and kick their asses. Goofy bastards. Knocking me on a tape and using it without consent. Of course, I would have known the Insane Clown Posse from Adam and Eve. And if I'd seen them on the street, I sure wasn't listening to their damn music. Finally, I got a call at the ranch from Sabu. Terry, I've got the Insane Clown Posse here. They want to come and see you, but they don't know if you're mad at them or not. Well, bring the sons of bitches out here. They had just finished a show in Corpus Christi, and their next one was in Houston. So they took their bus all the way from Corpus Christi to Amarillo, and then back down to Houston after they met me. I told you they were nuts. I'm assuming that's a long distance. And so the Insane Clown Posse came into the house, and Vicky had some chili cooked up. They sat down and ate a bowl of chili apiece and talked to me. They said they were very sorry if I was upset over what they said on the tape, and we buried the hatchet. Then, Valiant J said, Terry, we want to leave you some money for using that tape of you. I said, no, don't do that. Yes, Terry, we're going to leave it under this jar, under this counter here. I kept telling them not to, but I walked in the next room before them. They followed me in and told me they had to go. We said our goodbyes, and Insane Clown Posse drove off in their bus. And then I walked back into the other room to get their money. I knew they'd left, even though I told them not to. And I have to tell you, I was excited. I was thinking, oh boy, I bet they left me $20, maybe even 40, which would have just tickled me pink. I thought I'd have enough to pay for the chili at least. And so I was really happy at the notion of having $20. So I went in there, lifted up the jar, and there was $4,000 there.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And so let me tell you people something right now. I love the Insane Clown Posse. The next retirement match I have, I love the fact, by the way, you say it times, the next retirement match I have, they're going to be in the semi-final. They're the greatest band in the world, and I have all their records. It ends. I haven't got round to listening to them yet, but I do have them around here somewhere. So yeah, I love that story. It's like
that was a roller coaster. That could have gone any way. I thought like he'd turn up, and then Terry Funk would run out of his house in his underpants and his cowboy boots, wailing his belt. Go out of here!
It's just like the fact that no,
could have gone any way.
I just want you to apologise. I don't want to. No, I'll leave you some money. No, don't. No. ICP have heard them tell the story as well, and they said like, all right, we won't leave any money. I'm just going to use the bathroom quickly. Terry's like, oh yeah, all right. From the Double Cross Ranch, me mate can't get one over here. He's like, oh boy, $20, that would be nice. $4,000.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
He should have taken the money. So that's Terry Funk's ICP story.
That's good stuff. That's a good one.
Jack, what have you got for us?
Did I nominate? Because I remember I tweeted about him, but I don't think I ever nominated him for the Hall of Fame. Maybe I did. Please stop me if I've already told this story on the podcast.
Okay.
I was walking home.
You've told the story.
So thank you.
Sorry.
When I passed a guy who was listening to the podcast.
Yeah, you did.
I have told that story.
Oh, yeah, you actually have. I was just being a dick, but yeah, you have.
Oh, I thought you'd recognise the story straight away. I was walking home and I passed a guy who was listening. He went, "Are you Jack?" And I went, "Yeah." And he went, "I'm listening." And he showed me his phone. He was listening to the podcast. It was freak. We both freaked out. We were like, "Whoa, hang on." I think his name was Al, but I can't quite remember. I'm so sorry if you're listening, but I did tweet about him, so I did remember his name when I had to. It's so hard. I feel bad now. I think it was Al. Oh God, I'm definitely gonna check that after this podcast and then be like, damn it, and then probably tweet him saying, I got your name wrong on the podcast.
Oh, because anyway, what if you walk past him now? You forgot I listened to your podcast when you were 3 meters in front of me and you couldn't remember a minute. He'll throw his phone on the floor.
No, I'm better with faces than I am with names, I think. But anyway, instead it's so cheap. It's so cheap. I'll nominate Gareth Southgate. It's so cheap.
It's not cheap.
It's so cheap.
Well, nice knowing your ICP Terry Funk story.
I felt like I'd missed something in between the last World Cup and then the build-up to this tournament because everyone was acting for some reason like Gareth Southgate was the worst manager in the world. And I remember thinking, hang on, lads. He got us to the semi-final of the World Cup. I had a brilliant summer in 2018. I don't think it rained much. We did well beyond anyone's expectations. It was all brilliant. And I remember thinking, why does everyone hate Gareth Southgate now? And then for the first, up until we beat Germany, in the build-up to every game, the team selection would go out on Twitter for that match, and Twitter would again act like he was the worst manager in the world and tear him apart. And Southgate cut what can only be described as a promo after the Germany game, a very reserved, dignified one, where they said, Gareth, how do you feel? You've just beaten Germany. And he went, if I picked that team and we'd lost, then I'm dead. And I was like, go on, Gareth. Oh. And I just think he seems like, and I don't know him, obviously. I don't actually know what he's like, but he comes across like a very, very passionate and nice guy. And I think he deserves all the success. It's not just me going like, come on, England. I think that I think he seems like a fundamentally like a decent man. And I think that his redemption from having missed the penalty against Germany to then 25 years later be it like, it's
a great story, isn't it? It's a great story.
Good. Even if we don't win on Sunday, I still think like He deserves it all. He's just seems like a fantastic bloke. So
see, this is it. It doesn't. I don't think it. Like you're right. I don't. Like obviously, football's coming home, so it needs to win. But I don't think like whatever the result on Sunday, it's the fact that we're there. The fact that I was watching it and it was like minutes left of the second half of extra time, and I'm going, all right, where's the sting in the tail? Where's the catch coming here? Where they're going to get one, aren't they? And we're going to go literally to the very last second, you're going. Every time Denmark got the ball, went up that other end, even with like seconds to go, you're like, oh no, we're going to England this, aren't we? And we didn't. And it was amazing. And Southgate has been like a quiet, reserved, just like, we'll go again. I think there was another interview he did afterwards where they said, oh, were you allowed to be celebrating tonight after the semi-final? And he said, well, I think they did just then.
That was the celebration. Yeah.
That was the celebration just then. It's like, yeah, they're going to just behave themselves, get to Sunday, and then they can do what they like. But yeah,
no, he's good. He's good. And he's proven so many people wrong. I just really admire him. I think he seems like a great guy. So Gareth Southgate's mine. It is cheap, but I feel like at least I've showed my working enough that it's not that cheap of an answer. But there we go. It's Tom. Tom, what is your...
It is Tom. Nice to meet you.
Is it Tom? Yeah, Tom.
Is it Tim? Is it... Is it... what's his name? Is it Jonah Hill?
No.
So my pick. So I'm up against Terry Funk.
I was so annoyed there at you comparing yourself to Jonah Hill that I offended Jonah Hill. No, don't say that.
When I started, you look at the comments on that first video, and everyone's going, "Wow, Cultaholic got Jonah Hill."
I never understood that. I don't think you look like very different people. Anyway.
That's what it is. So my nomination is Jonah Hill. No, it's not. So Terry Funk, Gareth Southgate. It was me all along, Austin. I'm going to put Pablo in for the Hall of Fame.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Now,
yes.
It's been a funny week because, like, as I said at the start, this is Cultaholic's my full-time job, but every so often I get a little offer to go and do some other radio work, and it's not a case of I got to work to do. Like, I'm comfortable doing this, but I flipping love a bit of radio. And any chance I get, if I can fit it in, then I love to do it. So that's been my week. And I'm tired. And Alex is going, it's your own fault. I know it's my own fault, but it's fine. So I've been all over the place this week. So bless him. Like, he's a bit confused because Alex has been working all week. I've been working all week. So we're kind of coming and going at weird times. We're getting back to proper office life in a couple of weeks as well. So he's kind of getting used to us not being here as much. And we're trying to do everything to make sure that he's comfortable with that. But that's not the reason I'm putting him in. So where we live, there is this sort of communal corridor area, which is safe and locked up and stuff. But because he's an indoor cat, it's like taking for a little walk up the corridor on a morning to do his rounds, as we call it now. Like, I'll be up at like 5:30 and I'll go, he'll be sat by the door, meow, 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 meow. Okay, we'll go and do your rounds. He likes just to go and check everything's all right in the communal area. Like, yeah, everything's fine.
How do you get him back? How do you then get him back in? Because cats are so...
Well, to be honest, more often than not, he'll have a little wander around and then he'll go, okay, I'm ready to go back now.
Oh, fair enough.
Sometimes I'll just put some dreamies inside the house, inside the house, and he'll just go, oh, okay, I'll just nip in and have these. You've shut the door, you've bamboozled me. But more often than not, he'll come. On this particular occasion, he was more than happy to walk in because on this occasion, the reason I'm putting him in is the other morning he was doing his rounds and I sit down on the floor. It's very early. I've got a coffee with me and I'm on my phone. I'm starting doing some prep. And then from the other side of the corridor, I just hear... I was like, what's happened? And then he's looking through the door that opens to the rest of the corridor, like baring his teeth, his hair's all back, his tail's all up. He's sitting like, is there a cat in the bit next door that he says? I'll go up and see. And you know, on some doors where they've got the bit at the very bottom, which is mirrored, on the bottom of some swing doors. Yeah. He's caught himself in the mirror and he thinks it's another cat because he's in the window above it and he's got, that's clearly the part of the... And he's there for about 3 minutes, like growling and at himself. So I'm like, okay, I'll film this because that's what you do, just to show Alex this is what he did this morning. But then the door, it's air pressured. So if somebody underneath it, like the rooms around us, if somebody like maybe slams their door or whatever, sometimes it can make the air on this door go. Somebody did, and the door kind of opened and closed. I've never seen him move so quick in my life. Like, because he thought the door was opening, boom, gone. So what I've learned this week about Pablo, he is all talk and no action. Like, he'll give it all this. He is the cat equivalent of somebody who across the street go, "Oi, dickhead! Oi, you! Yeah! Oh," and he's gone. He'll run off. He'll be off on his bike. Like,
He's Enzo Amore.
He's the Enzo Amore.
Joey Janela.
Yeah, he's Janela. Yeah.
So my nomination this week, just because he's been wonderful during a weird time, and for that gorgeous interaction of him kicking off with himself, I'm putting the realest cat in the room, Pablo, into the Hall of Fame.
Nice. I like that. But I'm more of a cat person, so I'd be more inclined to vote for Pablo.
That's
I know
a
that
good shout.
Matthew's more of a dog person there, as we can
Yeah,
see.
we've noticed
right.
the wall.
Cats will do, but it's not as good as the real thing.
Oh, God.
You
Now-
heard me.
Ross did a survey once because he did a Q&A video, and one of the questions was, do people in Cultaholic prefer cats or dogs? So he put in our chat, please reply with a cat or a dog emoji. It was wonderfully playful for Ross. Anyway, so I remember looking at who were the cat people, and I can't quite remember who we were. It was like me. You must have been you, Tom.
Oh, I used to be a dog person, and I used to dislike cats until I met Pablo, and now I will quite happily take a bullet for him.
Cat.
My opinion on cats changed when he came into the world.
What's Pablo done to deserve a bullet? Wait.
No.
Finally, me and you, Pablo.
When Mira Pablo finally gets through and comes for him for all the smack he's been talking.
That's how you know it's the evil Pablo, because he's got a gun.
He does share the same name as... Wait, does he?
The drug lord, Escobar.
Yeah, Escobar. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Well, his middle name is Escocato, so...
Oh, yes, of course. But I was trying to remember who else. I think Andrew might have been a cat person as well. But we get judged a lot by the dog people and looked down upon, and I feel like it's not very fair. I'm allergic to dogs anyway, so I ain't got a choice. And whenever I tell people that, or whenever I'm around someone's house and I can't touch their dog, do you know whose fault it is? It's always my fault.
So it's your
They're
fault.
always like the dog will be sad because I'm not giving it affection, and then obviously everyone goes, "Is the mean boy not good?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's not my fault."
Who's that piece of garbage over there?
Yeah,
Sneezing when you come near.
Yeah.
Who's that jumping out the sky?
Who's that jumping out the sky? Who's that jumping out the sky?
Tickle belly.
You've done it now. So are you?
That's
You're
just way with
allergic.
Dominic.
You're allergic to dogs. Are you allergic to cats as well, Jack?
Occasionally, I'll find probably 1 in 6 cats or something.
Because
But
I am
no,
toying
it's
with
more
the
dogs.
idea of possibly bringing Pablo into the office on the odd occasion.
Oh, if he's just...
So we'll see how
he's-
we go.
If he's there and I'm allergic to him, I won't be like as if I'll get it just from him being around. I'll have to
Right.
probably touch him. So but usually I'm not allergic to cats, no. No, usually I'm fine.
I might bring him in on the odd morning as like a little day out thing. I'll take your cat to work,
oh,
though.
man, I'd be so paranoid about taking my cat further afield. But I'm sure you know what you're doing in case they've run away.
Well, you just have to look after you. I've taken Pablo on a train before.
Yeah.
And you just give him a bunch of catnip before he gets on there, so he's high as a kite for most of the journey.
Yeah.
he's fine.
It's like Mr. T in the A-Team getting on a plane.
Been getting on the train, fool. Have
Yeah.
that.
Oh, okay. Eat this catnip.
Yeah.
Dum.
So there's the Hall
on
of
behalf
Fame,
of the dog people, though, you said something there. I was like, dog people, cat people don't get along. Dog people are fine, not disliking cats. It's only when cat people go, "What do you mean you prefer dogs to cats?" And they bring it up. They're like the AEW fans on Twitter.
I was going to say, this is...
What do you mean you can't appreciate the nuance of Kenny and make like, just shut up, let me enjoy this. My doggy Alan, or whatever.
Oh, you don't like pets, but you like dogs. Oh, interesting that. Cats have been booked really well for ages. You mark.
Yeah. Cats, I got to tell dogs take the blood money. Or whatever Baker's talking about this week. Anyway, that got a bit weird, so let's get back on schedule. I know we hate that. The 3 picks... By the way, as well, Tom, well done. This shows your professionalism. With one of the picks being Gareth Southgate, you still went in with Pablo the Cat and a lovely story, trying to get that Hall of Fame vote. If I knew that Gareth Southgate would have been one of the picks, I probably wouldn't have put that much effort. I would probably gone, buttered toast. Next.
We've
And moved on.
got an international audience, you never know.
Well, no, because
Oh my God, can you imagine?
If he doesn't
Because
get
the
in.
international fans, Gareth Southgate comes second place to either Pablo the Cat or the St. Cloud Boss the entire book.
I can
I
only
believe-
assume
Former Cultaholic Heavyweight Champion Pablo the Cat, I believe, as well.
I can only assume that if people don't vote for Pablo, they must just hate him.
Yeah, that must be why.
Oh, you.
They must just hate him and want him done. So.
Oh, is that it?
That's you know what? That's fine. I can't change your mind on that. If you don't vote Pablo, you clearly hate my cat. So.
And I'd like to
Football's coming
apologise.
home.
Yeah. If you don't vote for this, you clearly hate Violent J.
And I'd like to apologise once again to Al, although now I'm worried he might be called Jay, but I'll stick with Al, who I walked past, who was listening to our podcast, because I almost nominated him for the whole thing and then didn't. I just...
Well, just put him in next week.
Could do. I'll see if I think of anything. Yeah.
Come on the back burner for next week. Well done, Al.
If Southgate brings himself off the bench and scores the winner, I may have to nominate him again.
That'd be amazing.
Where is work clothes?
Yeah.
So the 3 picks of the Cultaholic Hall of Fame. The ICP Terry Funk Story, Gareth Southgate, you may have heard of him, and Pablo the Cat. These 3 picks are yours and yours alone to vote for if you go to patreon.com/Cultaholic.
This is This Week in the Wrestling. It's this bloody week in the wrestling.
This week in wrestling.
Bloody week in the wrestling.
Exactly. SmackDown. Edge opens the show saying that Daniel Bryan cost him the win at WrestleMania, and Jey Uso's interference didn't help either. But he knows he can beat Roman 1-on-1 and will become champion at Money in the Bank. And then later on, might as well get the end bit out of the way. Backstage, Jimmy Uso has spent a lot of the time talking to Heyman about how he and Roman are going to end Edge tonight. But Roman's nowhere to be found. Jimmy heads to the ring and calls out Edge, who eventually appears. Jimmy promises that this is not a trap, and it just wants Edge one-on-one. Edge says that this is actually a trap for you, which throws Jimmy off his game in the ensuing brawl. Edge beats up Jimmy and he locks in the crossface of a chair leg to end the show with the wacky eyes, like every YouTube thumbnail in existence.
So I felt like I was missing something with this episode, or like I'd missed. Edge's mind game was saying Roman will turn up, but he'll kick your ass. And then Jimmy's folly was thinking that Roman was there, like he is every week, but he wasn't. I just felt like I was missing something. And what my theory is that Roman, for whatever reason, maybe couldn't make the show, and then they had to rewrite it. That's what it felt like to me anyway. It was a bit wishy-washy and a bit strange. But what did you get the same vibe?
Yeah, I wasn't sure why he wasn't there. Was there any sort of reason why he wasn't there? Was it just I missed a week, I had a little sleep in? We don't know, do we?
Maybe. I don't think anything came out, although I was off, so I may have missed it.
Well, unless it's one of those things whereby if Roman is there when all this goes down, like it makes him look a bit weaker. So like when for all this to go on when he's not there, is like, well, the only reason you got away with all that is because I wasn't here.
I guess so, but they love having Roman on, don't they? He's their biggest star by far. So I don't know.
Well, him and Lashley were both absent, so I thought they were doing.
Yeah,
press
Lashley was gone as well, wasn't he? Yeah.
It's okay, no big deal. No, but both world champs are around.
Maybe it was a rest week or something. I don't know.
Oh.
There's a few people taking random bits of time off at the moment, I feel like, because WWE's about to get back on the road. I guess they want to spend that last bit of time with loved ones before they get back to touring, which I kind of get. They're human, aren't they? I like the way they've built Edge and Roman for Money in the Bank. I think I've enjoyed like this sort of pun intended edge to Edge in this one. Like where he came back initially, and it was kind of feel good, and then he did the stuff with Randy that kind of got him a bit uptight again. He was a bit heelish coming out of WrestleMania, disappeared, and now he's just kind of like desperate caveman type thing. He was like, I know I can beat you this time. And there is just another nuance to Edge's character that I'm very much enjoying on SmackDown.
Yeah, as someone who saw Edge come back Rumble and go, oh, that's a nice return pop, and then he won. I'm like, wait, what? No. This is too much of the old people coming back. No, he's been great. As someone who was very negatively came back, I'm just sick of them going back to what's this? The year of our Lord 1998. That's it. The last time wrestling was good. We'll always go back to this. No, Edge has been great. Can't wait to see the match and more promos. And then beating up the Usos. They would all appreciate that. Big E teams up with Kinsuke Nakamura to take on Apollo Crews. Kinsuke, Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin. Corbin is sad because he lost his crown. And also, he's lost a lot of money in Bitcoin I believe. Or maybe it was one of the other variants of that. Maybe it was Diddler Coin. I'm not sure what we're on now.
Are we meant to... Sorry, no, the segment's not finished yet.
I'll finish the whole thing. So they're having the match. Corbin looks a bit fed up. But midway through it, Rick Boogs announces that Corbin's car is being towed. And you'd be like, oh, the mind games from the Boogster. But then they show footage of the car being towed. He's like, oh, God, my car is actually being towed. So he just loses to Big E. And then I'm like, I'm enjoying some of it. I'm enjoying Baron Corbin be like, oh, no.
I like unlucky Alf Baron Corbin that we're seeing at the moment.
He's just so unlucky. He's like, wait, no, that crowd had all my power. I'm crap now. But then...
Lads, did either of you try and talk to me there for the past 20 seconds because my internet just dropped out and came back? And I think I'm all right.
No, we're all good.
If any of you... I was worried that one of you would go isn't that right, guys? And then I was just like... Just didn't give you anything. But
I appreciate that. Cool. No, you're fine. Let us know if that happens again.
Yeah.
A few seconds in case we want to edit that. But if not, it's okay.
No, just carry on.
Okay, we'll carry on then.
It's all good.
Yeah, unlucky Alf Baron Corbin is wonderful fun. Yeah. I think we should lean into it more and just have him watch his car get towed away and just look at the camera and go, bugger.
Yeah.
That should be him each time.
Well, you got a handicap match tonight, Baron Corbin. It's you and somebody else against one
I'll
person.
Probably lose.
Yeah, no, it's 2 against 1. With these odds, even a loser like me can win. And he trips over his own feet and just gets pinned by Shorty G, who's like, aha, revenge for all that year.
Booker.
This is all right until Corbin's walking down the hallway, all sad. And then Boog comes up, he's like, king puns. I'm like, no, don't kick the dude when he's down. That's nah. Rick Boo, they call him.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, if only Baron Corbin could be a happy Corbin again, that would surely be the way that we should go.
What would make him happy
US
again,
Patent
Tom?
Office.
What would make him happy? What's the thing that's going to flip the switch?
Chin loss.
I reckon it'll be a little subtle thing, and it'll be like he'll win a $5 on a scratch card, and things are looking up, and happy Corbin blazoned across the screen. Or better yet, they'll start filming him with that filter which turns your face into a permanent smile. That's how we fix it.
I feel like everything from the accents to the very mundane thing. I feel like you've turned Corbin into a Viz character.
Well, he's a Fast Show character. He's unlucky Alf on the Fast Show. Right. So we're leaning into that Fast Show aesthetic from back in the day.
No, I feel like Baron Corbin is unfeasibly large testicles, though. That's
I'm not too familiar with the. I know Jazz. Welcome to Jazz Club. I know that bit of the Fast Show. But nice, great.
There's probably quite a few Fast Show gags that that you just don't know they're Fast Show gags.
Yeah.
This week I have been mostly eating corn on the cob, like Jesse's diets, and what other great Fast Show gags were there? They're different.
I said, hula hoops are round. They're gonna stay around, and they'll be round forever.
Isn't the brilliant guy from the Fast Show? Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah.
Isn't everything brilliant?
That's it, Baron Corbin. But wow, isn't it great? Aren't former Ring of Honor wrestlers going to NXT get signed up? Brilliant.
Anyway,
watch all the matches.
Brilliant.
Or
better yet, we revamped Baron Corbin. And they cut to a video of him walking down a country road wearing a long mac, like a moonlight shadow. Little look back to the camera.
Corbin's very sad.
Sad Corbin.
Him turning sad is funny. Him being sad and showing how sad he is. No, don't show that. Boogs, you need to take it down a bit. Take it down a notch, pal. Bayley cuts a promo saying that Bianca Belair may be physically strong, but she's mentally weak. This brings out Belair and they argue. Belair decides the only way to shut Bayley up is with an I Quit match at Money in the Bank because Hell in a Cell ended nothing.
Yeah.
I'm all right with these two feuding. They've got good chemistry, but it's okay. Can we move on now?
I like the matches. I like the action.
Yeah, matches are good.
Oh, no, I did politician hand there. I like the match. Why did I do that?
I like the matches, but we all must do what needs to be done for our country.
Yes, but with great respect, Minister, did you threaten to overrule him? I'm playing the Paxman role here.
I did not but did you threaten to overrule him? Oh, if people haven't
Oh,
seen that Jeremy Paxman interview, please.
Come
I
on.
know some young ones are like, what are you talking about? It's a Jeremy Paxman interview where he interviews
Michael Howard?
Michael Howard, and Michael Howard just refuses to answer the question. And Paxman's like, no, I'm not having this. Answer the question.
Yeah.
Did you threaten to overrule?
Anyway, what were we talking
Michael
about?
Howard,
Yeah. So I enjoy the matches, but I don't enjoy the storyline, like the reason for it, like the whole Bianca doing it for all the victims of bullying and stuff. Well, in theory, that's a nice thing and good for the kids watching. In practice, I just feel like it comes across quite shoehorned in. I don't really like not too, but the matches are good. They're both really good, obviously.
Yeah. And then Kevin Owens wrestled Sami Zayn. Yeah, I think it's just at the same time as that Papyrus thing coming up. That's how long it's been going up. In a last man standing match, thereby qualifying for Money in the Bank. Turns out Kevin Owens had a week off, just recover from having a previous match with Sami Zayn, to have another match with Sami Zayn. That's why he had the break, just to recover to have another match and batter him. Lots of tables here, lots of battering.
Just to fuel his hatred for a week.
Yeah.
You know when a Pokemon uses focus energy? That was
Yes.
Kevin Owens all week, and he was just going...
Those two-part moves like fly, and you go, where is
Yeah.
he? And then he's in your face. Yeah, so I loved it. There's not much else you can say about these matches other than two Canadian lads battered each other, Canadian style.
Yeah.
Canada. Anything else?
No, it was just...
Yeah, there we go. That's all you can say about it.
Yeah, it was just
Wow.
good. Owens should be good in the Money in the Bank ladder match because he does silly things.
Yeah. Sonya Deville introduces the next entrant into the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and it is Zelina Vega.
How underwhelming was this as a thing?
Wait, Tom. You're not underwhelmed yet. Liv Morgan interrupts and is angry that Vega gets a free pass. Vega says she's better than Liv and will prove it right now. Vega loses in 2 minutes.
I just
Now it's underwhelming.
everything about this, even Michael Cole, who was just like, oh, it's Zelina Vega. Like, there was so much, like, I get that you don't want to acknowledge, like, the fandom that much. I get that and all the stuff that went around it, but come on, there was so much conversation around Zelina Vega.
This felt deliberately quiet.
Yeah, like it was just like, oh, look who it is. Oh, guess she's having a match. Oh, well, she lost. Up next is this. Like, so undermined. And it makes you wonder why she came back. And, obviously we all got to work. We all got to work. We all got to work. We all got to do a thing. So, no disrespect. I know a lot of people have gone off at Zelina Vega for going back to WWE. And, hey, look, people got to work. It wasn't your decision to make. Yeah.
Right, she tried. It didn't work. She's like, well, I've got to earn a paycheck. So he offered her something and she took it. I think people have been honest. Oh, what? The revolution didn't start. You failed, Zelina Vega. I'm like, hang on, mate. Are you hiring her? No?
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if Liv Morgan went, Vega, and then Vega went, where were we? And then Liv Morgan went, you were losing. And then, sorry, that's just one for Maffew there. It's just completely one for Maffew. Sorry.
Every week we do a little bit of the Street Fighter movie. And eventually
we'll have done
the entire bit and you can just segment it.
Have you done the
Here
bit where
comes Zelina Vega.
What were you saying, Tom?
This timid young flower is Zelina Vega. Have you done that bit yet where Balrog and E Honda fight over the cliff?
Oh, we'll have mentioned. I think I described Hager and Wardlow as Balrog and Honda. No, that was Zangief. Sorry, Zangief and Honda.
No, you're talking about the Street Fighter 2 animated movie.
I've not seen the animated one. No. We're talking about the Jean-Claude Van Damme and Raul Julia live action Street. Oh no, yes.
Hence why my timid young flower comment.
I hate you now, Tom. Thank you.
I gave it a polite haha, but I thought that's my. I was like, how do I not know this? I was like, crap. So no, we're talking about the live action one, Tom, and it turns out it's both mine and Maffew. It's my favourite bad movie. I imagine it's one of Matthew's many favourite bad movies, but it's very good. Though.
Oh, it's a piece. It is a masterpiece for all the wrong reasons. It's a disaster piece, if anything.
So good.
But the animated movie they did, like 94. That's good. Very good. No, I recommend that. Good. But
is that actually good?
Oh no, it's like legit good. But then Balrog and E Honda falling off a cliff and and then like he Honda like, I'm fine. I landed on him.
In the live-action movie, E. Honda and Zangief fight over a model city while Godzilla noises play over the top for no reason. In slow motion and knocking over little buildings and it's good.
In a visual pun.
Yeah.
Whereas, it comes out to the theme from Carmen and Street Fighter the movie. When Vega appears in the animated one, KMFDM's playing. So Chun-Li has to fight Vega, like Ultra is playing, and it's And we were again talking about Street Fighter the movie. Yeah, something. Zelina Vega.
Zelina Vega's back. What a shame, but you got to make money.
Oh, you know what? Last thing, Zelina Vega. That's just a name in America. In Japan, she's Zelina Balrog.
Oh God!
Was that your own? Was that you? That was clever. No, that was clever. It was clever.
Maffew, explain that joke. No.
Actually, I think I get it. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
It's just rubbish. Otis easily beats Angelo. Stop laughing, Tom. It's not that. Otis easily beats Angelo Dawkins. Yes, he did.
That was it. That's all I could think of to say because Otis just beat Angelo Dawkins.
Plain simple, like this bloody podcast. Shut up, Tom.
I'm thinking about that joke you made on the classic SmackDown review where you said the reason that Stampede Wrestling is called Stampede Wrestling is because that's the noise the kids make when they come down for lunch.
Because there's like 12 of the gets. Brad, Owen, Bruce.
No, I got it. Yeah.
Sorry.
Maybe I had to be there.
Oh, dear. Sorry, everybody.
That was SmackDown. All guts and glory. The July 5th, 2021 edition of Monday Night Raw are about to talk about. Drew currently the lowest viewership in show history. The show averaged 1.472 million viewers. So
Adam Bomb was a bigger draw.
Mm-hmm.
Think on that.
Yeah, this show Adam bombed. The Miz opens Raw with Miz TV segment featuring Winning the Bank qualifiers Morrison, Drew, Ricochet, and Riddle. AJ Styles interrupts with Omos, who pushes Riddle off a ladder to start a brawl. Riddle's on top of the ladder going, "Isn't this what we do? We thought we all climbed up ladders at the start." And I'm like, okay.
He also says, "Whoa, I'm so high." They finally just dropped that joke in.
And Drew is here in the corner like, oh.
Yeah, what? Oh, God. It's not Drew. It's not Drew's fault. Drew, the wrestler, is fantastic. Drew, the character written by WWE, in my opinion, is it's nosedive, man. I really don't want him to.
So sad.
It's so bad, isn't it? He deserves far better.
Whoa, dude, I'm on a ladder. Like, what the God?
I know.
What an embarrassment for this company to have like all those names that you've mentioned there in this opening segment, and this show is the lowest drawing in history.
I know.
Like how embarrassing is that? How awful is that?
Tony Khan reading the ratings.
Anyway, sorry. The brawl happens, right, and then this might just be my own bad recapping, but somehow that leads to. I thought it was going to lead to like the standard like 6-man tag with 3 heels and 3 face, but instead it leads to Ricochet versus is it Morrison again? Yeah, I don't understand how they got from that big brawl to just these two. It was very.
Don't worry about it. It's Money in the Bank season.
Yeah,
they always tread water during these segments. Yeah. Ricochet versus Morrison. Miz causes Ricochet to be counted out by winning himself in the way. But also Ricochet does yet another crazy move to the outside and gets counted out. 3 times in the space of a month that's happened. Ricochet, here's a high spot you could try. Winning a match.
It was this count out spot was less cool than last week's count out spot, sadly. Last week's count out spot looked. This one was Miz going, no, and Ricochet going, what gives? Fly over him. You're Ricochet. Do you remember? Okay, this is a risk. It's always a risk mentioning a British wrestler, but I think he's all right. Do you remember Sizem? Justin Sizem.
Justin the Hammer Sizem, yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the superhero from World of Sport and that.
Belter of a match against Keith Lee.
Nice.
2018.
Darlow. Who commentated that match, Tom?
It was in Borough.
Oh, bollocks.
It was in Borough.
Teesside.
Who commentated that match, Tom?
This guy.
I was at WCPW I don't think we ever booked him when I was there, at least. But one of our backstage, she's a wrestler as well / manager. Like she's a wrestling every woman. Jenny, red curly hair. She's fantastic. She just makes herself very useful.
Lumberjen, Jenny Cooper. Not Jenny Cooper.
Jen
Louise.
I know.
Not Jen Louise.
Not Jen Louise. Lumberjen. She
Lumberjen.
was with Chuck Wood for a while.
Yes.
She's flipping
She's just great at everything. Any way that if you need anything done at a wrestling show, like can you just do this or can you do that or can you go and be a manager or can you wrestle? She can do everything, right? She's the female HT Drake when it comes to running a wrestling show.
God. What a very local reference.
But she was saying something like, have you seen Sizem can like jump from the ramp through the middle rope and do a spear? And I was like, no, he can't. That's not true. And then all the other crew were like, yeah, he can. And then they got a video and showed me and I was like, what the hell? And the only other person I could think of who could maybe do that is Ricochet, but when Sizeman's doing it, because he's like 200 odd pounds, he's like bang, and it looks really good. But I'm like, how can wrestlers be so... Sorry, I don't know where the story was going.
It's just more you remember someone like Ricochet who's got all this.
It just turned into me really praising Jen from back in WCW. Yeah. Jen, great.
Oh, that was lovely. I wonder where this story's going. How Jack's going to tie it together, and it just
him and Ricochet are both athletic, is what I was saying.
Like a Ricochet match, started really high and then just ended.
Yeah.
It's like great, cool. We were supposed to like you, Mr. Countout. Doing the RVD, Mr. Countout, Rick. Oh, I think this is the Countout before the match starts. Almost a superhero. Nikki Cross teams with Naomi, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss to take on Eva Marie, Doudrop, Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler, and all the wonder of the women's tag team division in this match. We had it all. Hypnotism, almost a superhero. Doudrop being a stupid name, but her changing her name on Twitter to Doudrop, so she's officially Doudrop, even though the storyline doesn't say that. Eva Marie being Eva. Actually, Eva Marie not wanting to tag or do stuff is actually entertaining to me, but Shayna Baszler looking dumb. She shouldn't. It was all here. It was all for the taking. What did you think, Jack?
Well, women's booking's really gone very much downhill since Becky Lynch left on maternity leave, really. And Ronda Rousey left. If this match had happened in the dark days of like the divas and everything, and when women's wrestling wasn't respected in WWE at all, you wouldn't have batted an eyelid. It's 4 women, not all of whom have anything to do with each other in storyline, really. Get a couple of minutes each, do something wacky or stupid, and then the match ends with arguably the one who deserves the win getting pinned by Nia Jax. So... I hated it, Maffew, to answer your question. I hated it. And ASH is not an acronym of almost a superhero. That annoys me as well.
Almost superhero.
Almost a superhero.
If they drop the A, almost superhero.
That would be as. Where does the H come from? Where does
hero?
Superhero. Oh, well.
Super hyphen hero. I mean, they are pushing
superhero. It's still very half-hearted and half-witted to go Nikki Ash. It's almost like they don't want to call her Cross just in case somebody else called Cross comes to that show.
I can hear Andrew in my head when you say that. I'm just doing it in my head. He's carrying Cross. He's Cross. He's carrying Cross. He's Cross. That just needs to be his theme.
We need to find a way of getting Karrion Kross to do that. I think once he does that, the joke reaches its full conclusion. If we can get Kross to, in his first promo on Raw, to go, "I'm Kross, I'm Karrion Kross," and then repeat it, the joke reaches its full conclusion.
I think Gargano will probably do it next week at NXT, judging by the segments he's doing. So
how much he's laughing at him,
yeah. You're really naff and poo, and then Karrion Kross is like, "No, I'm not." Crowd booing, going, "Yeah, you are." Anyway,
if anybody's at the CWC next week and wants to start I'm Kross, I'm Karrion Kross, I'm Kross, I'm Karrion Kross chant, that'd be amazing.
A little dance as you're doing it. I'm Kross.
Yeah.
I'm Karrion Kross. I'll put my elbow on the radiator. Ow. Mansoor faces Mustafa Ali.
Mansoor? Is he French now?
Mansoor. That's not how you say that, is it?
Mansoor?
Oui.
Mustafa Ali says it backstage. Bonjour. Monsoor.
I'm not Mansoor. I've not lost a match. I am Mansoor, his French cousin.
I'm two small boys in a coat trying to sneak into. Oh no, that's already been done. That's already been done in wrestling, hasn't it? With adult men.
Yes.
What do you mean? He is an adult.
Yeah,
it hasn't been.
It hasn't been done.
He's a bladed adult.
Ali gets his foot tangled in the ropes, but it's all a ruse as he grows up Monsoor.
Ruse.
I can't not say what
it's all a rouge.
It's all a rouge.
It's all a rouge. He's red. He's red.
Sacre bleu, what a
yeah. Sacre bleu. That's what he said.
I was.
Oh, this is gonna. Now,
yeah, after Monsoor realizes he's been duped, he goes mad.
After
say that, sorry.
When next time Mansoor appears on Raw and me and you both start going, oh, wee wee, Ross is going to be like, what the hell? What's happened here?
I didn't even mean to say that, by the way. Mansoor.
Monsieur.
They live up in Saudi Arabia. I don't know why. Part of it, Mansoor. Jinder Mahal arrives.
Don't you forget about me.
Oh. That pained me.
Here he comes. The new bonjour, monsieur, bonjour. Jinder Mahal, not from France, arrives on a motorbike and says he and Drew.
No, that deserves more. That deserves more exploration.
Oh, we'll get there. Don't worry. I'll just do the recap. Then we'll talk about it.
Okay, sorry.
He and Drew used to be friends, but now Drew doesn't even have time to hang out with him. And I like this bit. We'll get the bike in a minute, but Jinder was so good here. I said, do you want to hang out? It took him 2 days to reply, and he didn't even say, no, I'm too busy. It did number 2, busy. What's that about? And I thought, okay, you know what? I can relate to Grumpy Jinder. And then later, Drew claims that his sword is made from the Loch Ness Monster's tooth. And he also brought up Davy Crockett earlier. I guess he's run out of Scottish history to Wikipedia, so let's move on to Wild Frontiers. Drew wins the match via DQ when Veer and Shanky interfere, but Jinder steals his sword. So he's got a sword and a motorbike. I love Jinder Mahal.
So now we're going to get Happy McIntyre because he's lost a possession. He's sad about it. Him and Corbin are going to team up.
Why is Jinder on a motorbike though?
Because he's biker Jinder now, I suppose.
Did somebody read Did somebody read the notes for his character? At the top it says you've gone and made a big mistake, and they go, he must be the Undertaker's new gimmick. Then that's fine.
I'm fully in favour of biker Jinder. I think it could be hilarious, and in a good way. I think it could be good. Was it meant to be funny? I don't know.
I thought it was cool. I like, again, there's been so many stupid nerds on the show, just in case people are missing Ross. I do appreciate Jinder showing up on a motorbike going, I've had enough of all this. I've had enough of people not text me back properly, taking 2 days to do it, and I've had enough of that idiot and his sword. I'm like, yeah, get him, Jinder.
Get him.
Yeah.
Jinder's going to get cheered, isn't he, at SummerSlam?
I'm cheering him.
If they do Jinder versus Drew at SummerSlam, which is apparently the conversation, Jinder's getting cheered, isn't he? I really feel for Drew, right? And I think it hits a bit different because he's he's a countryman, kind of. It's the
if he wins, he's a countryman.
Yeah, that's it. It's the Andy Murray effect.
Yes. Sorry, Scottish people, we don't make the rules.
We don't make the rules, and it's just because we're pulling for him, and he is 100% a team player because he's been given these scripts. He's going, yeah, I'll deliver it and I'll own it. But it's still crap. It's like, crap. Oh, mate, and what's gonna happen is the crowd are gonna turn on him, and you're gonna have that conversation where people above go, I don't know what it is. They just don't like Drew anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, these fans are so fickle. Like Gareth Southgate mentions.
How hard
they're
is
throwing
it?
red paint on a wall and going, we just don't know how this wall got so red.
How are they so afraid of letting, without sounding too cliched or whatever, but letting badasses be bad? Drew's 6.5-foot Scottish guy who kicked Noam Dar off a balcony. I don't know how
you get
in the wrong. They weren't even wrestling.
He just took him off there.
Yeah,
it's like something from Trainspotting.
It's that thing, I think, where they have to control the situation. They have to control everything. And it's like, you know how you'll sometimes get people that will manage for the sake of being managers, where they'll tweak things because like they have to. And I feel like WWE is just over managing everybody. And this isn't a hot take. It's very obvious. The fact that you have a roster this good and it's the lowest performing Raw of all time. Like, this is where they are over managing a roster. If they just let a lot of these people be, you'd have an amazing show on your hand. I think for me, this is a random bit of conspiracy theory. I don't think WWE wants anybody to get over a certain line. Because when you do, because then then you
films.
That's it. You have then The Rock, who at the height of his popularity started getting offers for movies and went. And you have people like that, and I almost like there's a reluctance for them to get that far over, because then they go. And I think WWE, and it's I think this is quite obvious. They don't want a star in the company. They want WWE to be the draw.
The brand is the star, yeah.
The brand is the star. None of these people, all these people are interchangeable, but WWE is the star. You want to see WWE on the marquee and go, I want to buy a ticket for that, regardless of who's there.
It's slightly different maybe in NXT, but certainly on the main roster, there's this whole... Every time someone gets a push, the push isn't about them doing really well. It's about them rising through this challenging, rewarding environment. The WWE is like a character, or it's like a setting where they've got to prove themselves, and it's constantly the main thing. Yeah. Whereas the main thing, you're right, you're totally right, should be the characters, not the show that the characters are on. Yeah.
Hey, how about instead of controlling the wrestlers, how about you control the ratings? Oh! But yeah, you're right. I think what people seem to forget, Drew McIntyre was building up steam because he's a big dude who was kicking people in the face and going, I'm going to win the title at WrestleMania. It's going to be mint because I've not won it before. And people are like, yeah, that's right. You're very likable, actually, when you kick people in the face. And that was it. Oh, I'm really good and I'm going to do this. And the Thunderdome era, they're like, we're going to do talk to the CRT TVs out there. All right, cool. So instead they're going, all right, Drew, be as stereotypically, whatever, Scottish as possible from an American's perspective. Now he's just become a parody of himself.
Yeah.
The Loch Ness Monster. That should never have come out of his mouth.
I don't think... I know exactly what you mean. I feel like...
When I grew up in North Kilttown. Jesus, shut up.
I hope that people don't think that they're saying, go and be really Scottish, and then he's coming up with this stuff. Because to me, it seems very much like he's reading word for word.
I hope. If it comes out... No, I write it all myself. I'm like, oh, God, true.
I think he's being given all this. I feel like that because again, he's a top star, so therefore he's getting the most focus that anybody else gets.
Like, we know Scottish people, right? Like Kenny and that.
I know at least three.
And if we said to any of them, like, Hootsmon, how's the Loch Ness Monster? All of them would go, oh, for God's sake. Like, they'd all go, what are you doing? Apart from Jen, who'd pretend to be nice about it because she's too nice to, like, scorn anybody. But apart from her, they'd all go, like, get out, what are you doing?
John Morrison's impression of Drew McIntyre from a few months ago is now less offensive than Drew McIntyre's actual promos.
Yeah, it's true.
I'll take the high road. Oh, fuck. No, be back to being cool. Please. Speaking of cool, the Lucha House Party beat Mace and T-Bar. It says here, oh dear.
Yeah, but my heart is singing. In terms of the booking, I'm like, oh, what? But in terms of my own personal... Lindsay Dorado, it's coming home, Lindsay.
Grand Metalik.
Lindsay, you're the one. You're still turning on. Wrestling's coming home again. Lucha home party. Lucha's coming home. It's coming home.
Grand Metalik's all right as well, but I'm more in it for the Lindsay.
The shade on Metalik.
He's fine.
You're all right.
And you can have... Oh, sorry, Tom. But, it was unexpected, but I liked it. Good. Doing something with the Lucha guys. Love Lucha. Before the AAA big show's coming back.
I'm worried about T-Bar and Mace, the lads.
I'd be worried about them as well.
Yeah.
Don't call them Retribution. They're much worse than that now.
They came in on this Retribution bus, and then Retribution ended. So it just feels like they're walking along the road trying to thumb a lift at this point. Like
it's the end of Dumb and Dumber.
This is the end of Dumb and Dumber with T-Bar and Mace just walking along the road. I'm very and again, like, they seem like you can't miss big lads. big lads, very talented big lads. Sure, I reckon probably making more money in wrestling than they've ever made.
Yeah.
Dijakovic is making more money doing this T-bar thing than he made like doing indie stuff, I'm sure.
Having 5-star match. Yeah.
Is it as creatively satisfying? I'll let you answer that, but he's making more money.
I hope so. I do hope so.
Damian Priest checks on Riddle and his injured foot backstage. Hey, remember Damian Priest? Riddle has a match with AJ Styles, which he wins after Viking Raiders cause a distraction.
So this is just building up to... It's going to be AJ and Omos against the Viking lads, isn't it? Which I'm quite interested... To be fair, that's a match that I'm quite interested in.
Yeah, likewise.
But I don't understand the Priest-Riddle thing. Is Priest just kind of filling in for Orton while he's off?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
That's all Damien does. He knows someone famous. It was Bad Bunny, now it's Randy Orton.
Okay.
Just because of reasons. Just because Priest is a warm body that's there with nothing going on. Let's just pop him in there.
He deserves a bit... Deserves a little bit more in my opinion.
Do you know what? They all deserve better. Everyone on this show deserves better.
No, Tom, I've got the notes from Ryan Satan. He says they went, get that dude who we only use when the famous dude's around. And then Vince went, well, we already got rid of Mojo Rawley. So Damien Priest.
Hey!
Not my fault, it's true.
Hey!
Charlotte Flair comes out on a crutch after Rhea Ripley attacked her leg last week. She says that the injury might cause her to miss Money in the Bank. Ripley comes out with a crutch of her own and they have a little crutch battle. Charlotte runs away and her leg seems fine. I actually liked Rhea Ripley's overacting here.
Okay.
Not a lot of people seem to, but it's trying to figure out the people who follow and obsess over women's wrestling on Twitter is like playing Minesweeper. So I like this because Ripley, her character is, I'm going to do what Charlotte does before Charlotte has a chance to do it to me. And it's not really worked that well in other bits, like when she hit her first and attacked her at the pay-per-view Super Show, whatever. It didn't really work. This segment worked for me, though.
Okay.
This is like, oh, she is a face.
Yeah, it was slightly less murky than it has been. It was. And I appreciate it getting somewhere near to being on the rails again.
Yeah.
But I do still, as with every like wrestler I'm a fan of who gets a push and then comes up against Charlotte, I do fear for her.
I'm nervous. The idea of Charlotte not making Money in the Bank, hey, great, that's another month for Rhea Ripley as women's champion. I'm very nervous.
She's
very nervous.
She's inevitable.
She is the Thanos of the women's
like the
division.
rain. Yeah.
Charlotte looked at that women's title and she's not thinking, it's coming home. It's coming home. She's going, it never left. It never left. R-Truth is set to team up with Jackson Riker against Elias and Cedric Alexander. Truth gets distracted by the 24 champ Akira Tozawa and chases him away, making it a handicap match. Riker wins easily after Elias leaves Cedric alone, not wanting any part of his former bodyguard.
Mate, these lads.
Are you
top
as excited as I am?
Sympathetic babyface Jackson Riker.
Mate,
I am
lads.
hyped for when they have the crowds in.
I
Can
am.
you imagine Jackson Riker with the American flag and probably some jeans or something, and then crowd, no, oh no, you don't. We've seen your
It depends
tweets.
where you are. If you're in Terry Funk country, if you're in Corpus Christi, born in the... No, I don't know.
Don't pay attention to the lyrics. Born in the USA.
I think everywhere they go, I think he's going to get booed. I really do.
Fair
And I think they'll have a camera cupped to Vince McMahon doing the Pikachu gif of just like, what? I don't understand.
But he whipped
But I
that crate
like
with
it.
his belt. Like, what do you want?
But he's a big lad. Why don't people like him?
Elias. If they have him versus Elias is going to get cheered through the
Oh,
building,
yeah.
surely.
Oh yeah, Elias is very likeable.
Yeah. It's funny.
I feel bad for Elias and I feel bad for Cedric. Not long ago, he was in the Hurt Business and, they were cool. And now he's lost... Apparently the feud with Jeff Hardy is over now, I don't know. And now he's... Well, he's...
I wouldn't call it over.
Well, now he's... now he's just a step above, the 24/7 shenanigans. So it's
That's
very
it.
sad.
That's when you need to worry. If you get that low, 24/7, oh no.
yeah.
Oh no. Yeah.
Well...
Kofi and Xavier take on MVP and Lashley in the main event, which the New Day win after Kofi hits Trouble in Paradise on MVP.
I read on 411 Mania, I think it was...
Wait, did I say Lashley wasn't in the main event? It wasn't on Raw. I did, didn't I?
Oh yeah, he was.
He was at the very end.
Yes.
You tell I only
sorry.
skipped this bit. I was talking complete rubbish. I'm very sorry.
Big shout to the person in the comments that corrected Maffew, only to now suddenly be writing an edit underneath the comment.
Oh, you got me.
Lol, it really. I read it. Whoever reviewed it of Form 1 Mania made a good point. Said it was like a house show main event because it was kind of just feel good, and the manager got the one who was beaten up, and it was all the good guys won. But again, it felt a little bit not as much like filler as SmackDown did. It just felt like a little step in the road as opposed to Money in the Bank. I want Kofi to win, but I don't think he is going to win.
No.
I don't think so. Yeah.
This is all just they're just sort of going through the motions to get out of the Thunderdome. They're not starting anything. They're literally just having this holding pattern until they get back in front of crowds. And I think we'll see. And I'm hoping we'll see a dramatic improvement in the quality of Raw when that happens. I can only hope that they're literally. I know we all shake our heads, but
bless you and your internal optimism.
Because wrestling needs to be good. Because that's why we love it. Like I hate the thought that
Maffew
Raw
loves
is
wrestling because it's bad.
See, I have always loved wrestling. I mean, yeah, obviously for Maffew, that's dollar signs. But we rag on Raw all the time, and you get people online go, anti-WWE. No, I want it to be. I desperately want it to be good because it was watching Raw that got me into wrestling, that made me a passionate wrestling fan. I hate the fact that it's crap every week. Yes. I hate it. I want it to be good.
I would forgive
Tom,
them.
if only there was another show on the same big company that catered to people like yourself.
I want what people who want good wrestling. I want wrestling to be good.
No deal.
Oh, fine.
I'm removing the deal from the table, Tom. You may have one or possibly two, depending on how good SmackDown is that week and if Roman Reigns makes an appearance. So you, Tom, and everybody else watching this will have to just settle for NXT Great American Bash.
There you go.
Which started with MSK retaining the tag titles against Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa, stealing one after a small package. I love
Maffew, I was about to ask,
go
right?
on.
Because I wondered whether this was... Because obviously you wouldn't have enjoyed the result, because I think you would have wanted Ciampa and Thatcher to win. But did you enjoy the way that MSK... Yes, right, go on. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, MSK coming out there going, hey, high flying and flips. Crowd, boo. The age of the twink is over. Long live the daddies. Just these big, ripped lads chopping the hell out of these dudes. Doing, nice throwbacks. I don't want to say throwbacks to the DIY, but kind of when they get them and okay, I'll take this guy in the middle of the ring and I'll block the other dude from coming in. Stuff like that, rather than just flips and stuff. It was such a contrast in styles. Very happy to see Thatcher and Ciampa teaming up and getting such a lovely response from the crowd. MSK did their thing. And the finish being a small... Okay, I'm going to take them not winning, but a small package. Thatcher knows 10,000 ways to counter a small package. If this means we get a stunning rematch, maybe in the fight pit.
I think we are getting one.
But there are no small packages allowed or something. But what did you non-biased people think? Let's start with Jack.
Oh, I really enjoyed it as well. I like how they're leading into the MSK not being that popular with the crowd thing and making them just a little bit sneaky. And I think that's good. I think that's cool. And Ciampa and Thatcher, I've never actually been that big a fan of them because I prefer them both in singles matches more. But that doesn't mean I can't enjoy this little tag run they're on. Even if it does lead to them winning the tag belts, I wouldn't necessarily be against that. So, I thought it was great. What do you think, Tom?
I think they are a gorgeous tag team, Ciampa and Thatcher. They had I can't remember if they had it before, so forgive me for getting this wrong. They have matching gear now, like new matching gear, like a little Americana-esque matching gear, which is always a nice sign for a tag team like that. I think that it could have been a styles clash, but I think they worked it beautifully. And yeah, that little build to MSK full fat heel turn, I'm a big fan of, like it a lot. And I'd like a reign for Thatcher and Ciampa at some point. I think they're very worthy of it, and a nice full-bodied rematch. Maybe, as you say, in the fight pit. I reckon they might avoid the fight pit. I might think they might do a rematch where they go, "Hey, you beat me with a cheeky roll-up. That shouldn't be enough. But let's do 2 out of 3 falls." I think a 2 out of 3 falls match is in keeping with that style. I think. But yeah, lovely tag match to open Great American Bash. Lovely stuff.
Daddy or chops? Chops.
Nice.
William Regal and Samoa Joe bring out... Who's that wrestler? What's he say, Tom?
He's
NXT
cross.
champ?
He's carrying Krusty's cross. He's carrying Krusty's cross. He's carrying Krusty's cross. He's cross about being on main event without Scarlett.
Oof.
Yeah.
She
wasn't here either.
That was his non-union Mexican equivalent.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
She wasn't here either, was she, though?
No, I have a feeling they're phasing that out. I feel like they're kind of making Cross more this... They're kind of twisting Cross's character so it's more in keeping with what they want for him on Raw, so it's less jarring.
That makes me cross because I don't want my NXT tainted by the whims of the main Raw. Not that it wouldn't have, no, I'm speaking like that doesn't happen all the time, but
constantly.
Yes.
But it's so weird because I'll do the rest. Regal announces a title match for next week with Joe as the guest referee. Cross says that when he wakes up, he thinks about three things: keeping the NXT title, main eventing WrestleMania, and winning the WWE title.
Hang on.
When Gargano wakes up, he puts on a pair of his wife's jeans. Gargano says Cross couldn't lace his wife's boots and just to separate them. I don't know what happened here. It's so strange watching this as a viewer going, wow, look at Jack's legs, and seeing what they're doing with this. They had everybody on the roster in the main event scene that wasn't Cross come out and go, Cross is crap with a K, and he needs that special entrance music. He needs Scarlett because actually he sucks. And then in real life, they got rid of Scarlett and the production, and they're pointing out he sucks because he doesn't do Canadian Destroyers. And the crowd's going, yeah, you're right, boo. I don't get that. Don't understand that at all. No. For the love of God, don't tell me Gargano's supposed to be face.
Gargano is supposed to be the face. But it's really weird, Maffew, because he's a heel who thinks he's a face, but now he actually is a face.
I kind of feel like it's a double heel match that we're doing.
Okay.
I'm cheering for
that's
Joe.
what we're doing. But it's so funny how it's kind of the anti-Heyman initiative, like in ECW, where it was accentuate the positives and hide the negatives. The whole idea that if somebody isn't up to par in the ring, but has lots of other faculties about them that make them marketable, then let's emphasize those. Whereas WWE sometimes has this thing where they go, oh, let's accentuate the negatives. So like we can build them from the ground up again. Apparently, because Karrion Kross isn't a technical marvel, but then some of the best characters in wrestling weren't. So why does it matter? Why is it you go, without that entrance, he's not cool, so take away the cool entrance? Yeah, see? Oh, great, now I'm having less fun. Thanks. Yeah, but that showed you, it's the sort of person that will go to a party and explain all the ingredients and the additives in the punch. Like, just let us have nice things.
Tom, throwing back to SmackDown, it's a lot like the Triple H bits that we'll get on later on. We're having a bit now where Triple H has to make himself look really smart. Not by outsmarting somebody, but having his opponent be really dumb.
Yeah.
Haha, Karrion Kross, you suck and you have no entrance music. And he comes out, see?
Like, oh, great. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, okay, great. Go on, Jack.
I also think that with Kross, he's not even like... It's not like he's the great Khali. Do you know what I mean?
No!
Like he's actually good. Like, he's actually very good. So I don't understand why they've picked him. Is it because he's not, like quite short and very indie style? I guess
it's
that's
not
why.
like the rest of the roster, right?
Well, that's what I mean. Is that because he's different? Because in any other context, they'd all be scared of him. He'd be like this killer, and they're like, "What? Whoa!" But
do you know who was all entrance? Do you know who was all entrance, all killer, no filler?
Goldberg?
The Undertaker in his early career.
Oh, right.
The early years of The Undertaker.
I was going to say the
all
Godfather,
entrance.
but that works.
Imagine like Hulk Hogan going, the thing is about this Undertaker, brother.
Yeah.
That spooky entrance. He's just Mark Calloway. And then Mark Calloway comes out and has a subpar match. See, I told you.
If he wasn't dead, brother, you wouldn't be cheering.
Yeah. Just infuriating.
Yeah.
Infuriating.
Weird. Not as weird as seeing me on the main event, but up there. LA Knight beats a brave Cameron Grimes to keep a hold of the $1 Million Championship. Grimes was now also be Knight's butler. What was saying last week about did someone bet?
I bet it was like my finger or something. I said I'd cut off a finger if Cameron Grimes won this match.
That was it.
But there were some hairy, scary moments for me. I was like, oh no, my finger. But it was okay.
Fun match as well.
Really fun.
I love LA Knight. Like, there's such a wonderful and we're gonna say it again. There's a Rock-esque energy about him. The count-out bit where
Ross has just been referring to him as the Rock on this podcast.
Yeah,
he just calls him the Rock. Yeah. But no, the count. Were you saying the countdown bit?
And he was on the top rope and like just kind of he had this, and then as Grimes got back into the ring, LA Knight shoots him a look over his shoulder, eyes bugging out. That you tell me that wasn't like Rock-esque. And then him gets down, finishes him off, and then just is elated in a very angry way at having a new butler. So here come the skits. I'm excited for them because it's the NXT writers making them and not the Raw writers.
The wrestlers probably have some input, therefore, so it might actually be quite good.
It might be quite fun.
Yeah, I was fearing for my finger when he beat the count, and I thought he's going to roll him up. Something's going to happen. But thankfully, it was all okay. I'm liking where this is going. I think when Grimes finally gets that big win, it's going to be fantastic.
I can't wait for him to be $1 Million champion and just drag it around everywhere and just mistreat it. leave it in strip clubs and stuff like that. I'm really up for Grimes as the $1 Million champion.
Like Chris Jericho as AEW.
Exactly like Chris Jericho.
Zoe Stark and Io Shirai win the women's tag titles from The Way after Tegan Nox battery is fully charged. Returns to shock Candice. She chases her away as the new champs celebrate in the ring, while Dexter Lumis helps Indy to the back. What a nice man.
Tegan Nox, I lovely to see Tegan Nox back, but I'm always very nervous. Like, she's back at 100%, says Beth Phoenix, as Tegan Nox stands on the apron with a knee brace.
Leave her alone.
I know, and I'm saying, because I love her. I absolutely love the bones off her, and I think she's going to be a star. I'm just gutted that we've had so many bad injuries. Both ACLs going, and
I know, man.
And like when I'm just now at that point where I'm just so nervous, like watching her get into the ring to fight with Candice LeRae. I was just a bit. Please be okay. Please be okay.
It was when she, for me, it was when she slid out the ring and she did like a slide, and I was like, ah! But you just kind of, I think you just have to kind of remember, they wouldn't have let her do it if she wasn't fully recovered. Or
exactly.
But it is scary.
Because we want it to be great. We want it to be great because I think there's so much potential in Tegan Nox. Because the fact that she did a dark match on Raw, it might have just been a case of just kind of just give her a little run out before NXT. But I reckon they'll move her up pretty quick. I think now they want her on Raw. I think
don't want her to move up because that's where the women's wrestling there is really bad at the minute. Oh dear.
That's what they'll do.
Then she'll be telling Welsh mythology with Drew and
she'll be getting all the wrestlers to say Clampuffgil Gigoli.
Hello. I can't do a Welsh accent very well.
Hello, yeah.
Bloody Tegan Nox I am.
And bringing up like great moments in Welsh history. Well, I'm going to flood you like the English flooded one of my towns.
Oh my word!
I will team up with you. Ah, monsieur.
Oh no!
I will team up with you. We will together. We will brick up the Channel Tunnel.
It's a curious. It's not going to help the Welsh much.
Yeah,
it's fine.
okay.
It's all right.
Is this going to help us get a title shot? No.
John, can you do Mansour as a Frenchman?
Well done to John, by the way, for joining the gym. And
John Eiley back in the gym. Got a boy. Photoshop John Eiley.
Yeah, I'll be good if he replies. No, I can't Photoshop it. I'm too busy working out.
Too busy getting hench.
Yeah.
John Eiley, when he is hench, he's going to get that ROH contract. John Eiley.
I stopped going.
Don't say that.
I stopped going. I've fallen off. I've done the opposite of Tom and John because my gym is being at the start of August is being changed into like downsized into just a one floor all women's gym, so I can't go anymore. And I thought, well, that's fine. I can go for another month and just squeeze in and then join another gym. But actually, knowing that it's closing for me has made motivation actually very hard. Motivation's a weird thing. Like, I know that it's going away, so I'm like, oh, what's the point?
Is there not, and that's the closest gym to you?
Yeah, because I live in quite a student area, so they're all like student gyms and stuff. But I'll be able to find one. It's just a case of bothering to do it. But, yeah.
The one thing I always told was like a crap workout is better than not doing a workout, because I've had some really crap runs doing this couch to 5K. I've had some abysmal, like horrible, sweaty, slow, ugly runs, and I thought, well, it's still better than not doing one, I guess.
Fair enough.
Exactly. You're still lapping the man on the couch. I saw it in a gym wall one time. It stuck with us. Probably after a crap workout. Hit Row spits some bars. Which bar is the to celebrate Isaiah Swerve Scott's North American title win? They sounded very cool to me.
This is cool. I like Hit Row. Oh,
I know whatever way I try to describe it, I'll just be white as possible. So
Yeah, you sounded like someone's
there's
like
nothing
mum
I can do here.
Oh, it was very hip, wasn't it?
Jazz. Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, clearly it's something they wanted to do, and NXT let them, and it came across. Like, if you're a fan of Hit Row, you're going to be like, yes, this was great. Some of them were better rappers than others, but that's fine. Like, Swerve Scott actually was rapping. I was like, wow. Yeah, fair enough. What did you like about it so much, Tom?
I just like the energy of them. I can't say I'm down with the kids in that sense, but it's that faction has a really cool energy about them, and it feels like something that stands out on the show for all the right reasons. I think the idea of Swerve as the North American champion being surrounded by this entourage that are going to protect it at all costs. I think whilst we're not having the Bronson Reed reign ended far too soon, but if this is where we're going, if Bronson Reed has other plans, as it seems like he might, this is great. I like and it's Swerve getting an opportunity, and Swerve has been great for so long, and this is the rhythm that we needed for Swerve. I think that he kind of ran the risk for a while of just becoming other character on NXT. And once the Hit Row stuff started to form, I was like, yeah, this feels good. And then he became the champion, and it's cool. Yeah. It's cool.
I think he's one of those guys who, when you put him in when you actually give him a title reign or a featured feud, he's one of those guys who always steps up and delivers. Like, he's done it in Evolve and he's done it in Lucha Underground, and he just, when he's given the spotlight, he actually really thrives under it. So give him it more. And they're doing it, so that's good.
That's it. I'm up for it.
Yeah, I might not have the words to describe how good it was, but like a blind man reading, I was feeling it. And then Adam Cole gets revenge on Kyle O'Reilly. Oh, good. Don't want to.
In Matthew's favourite match type.
Yeah, the 25-minute Cole special, beating him to even the series and hopefully set up a tiebreaker match. This is one I just skipped through, and every time I skipped ahead, he was doing a Canadian Destroyer.
No, it's not true.
He does like that move. The Panama Sunrise. So instead of talking about that, I'll just bring up the fact of something I've just learned now. Someone just notified me. Today is the anniversary of Sky News, the breaking Sky News Twitter account, saying footballer Paul Gascoigne has arrived at scene saying he's a friend of Raul Mullen.
No. Oh, man. Oh, God. What a time for this region that was.
Yes, that was 2010.
Gaza,
years ago.
Gaza was at Wembley celebrating the England win. It's good to see that he's, on the right, doing better.
It's nice. It was nice to see him there.
Yeah.
You love to see it.
He
At
was
Wembley, you mean,
David
not
Beckham.
It's me.
But no, what were we talking about? Karrion Cross, Kyle O'Reilly, and Adam Cole. I agree. I know what Matthew means. Sometimes these matches are a bit tiresome. Sometimes I enjoy them. This one was good, but it wasn't like my favourite of these type of matches, I do have to admit. But
no, it fell quite short of their match at the takeover.
Yeah.
They're obviously building to a final showdown with some wild stip. Presumably the takeover around SummerSlam, maybe.
Yeah, and you know what? Just to obviously, this is probably on me as well. I'm not always in the mood to see that type of 25-minute.
No, I get it.
Bang, 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 bang match that they put out on NXT. It's just the same as not always in the mood for it for an AEW as well. So feel free to like Cole and O'Reilly doing their thing and just go, Maffew, you're weird. That's fine. I beat Resident Evil 8 on hardcore mode last night. I'm doing fine. I'm happy.
You can like different things at different times. You don't have to like everything at the same time all the time. Sometimes you're not in the mood for a burger and chips. Sometimes you want lasagna.
Wait. Sorry, Jack just kicked the table.
What did you do?
I got pins and needles in one of my feet, so I tried to straighten it out, and I kicked the table. Oh, man.
Because you saw the camera go up, and then you just the pause, and then Jack's face going...
Sorry, Tom, I've interrupted your...
No, it's fine. I'm leaving a
same
pause
thing.
so diddlers of Cultaholic can cut that nicely and share that. I'm leaving a nice pause so they can do that. Yeah, you don't have to like everything all the time, all the same things all the time. It's fine. And that's...
Isn't it weird that your feet are the same length as your forearm? They're so far away. They don't look as long as your forearm, do they? But they are.
Is it not because they're closer?
Yeah, exactly. There's like because feet are so far away. It's like. No, I know this is like the No. I know this is like the Father Ted bit where it's like, now these cows are small, but those ones are far away. I know it's like that. But
That's a good point you just made,
Jack,
Tom, about not liking things at the best times. But have you ever noticed your forearms are the same?
Look how
Jack, you know when we took a break just now while Matt went for a Jimmy Riddle, did you nip out and just have a little bifter and then come back?
No.
Why are feet like so far away?
It's crazy, isn't it?
Crazy, man.
Feet don't seem to be feet aren't as long as your forearm, but they are though.
It's crazy.
They are.
Oh, it's crazy.
Isn't that weird?
Hi, it's me, Sober Jack.
No.
I'll be filling in for the rest of the show. I think NXT was quality. I gave it 4.5 stars. Or mini jacks, as I call it, jumping jacks.
I'm very late to the puppet Jack thing, but I realised the other day when I was doing
Oh no, Tom, there's nothing to it. There's no new ones.
There was because there is because I was Twitch streaming. I was on Twitch doing Banjo Kazooie the other day, and I've been putting voices to everybody. I've decided that Bottles should be
the mole.
The mole should be David Stott from Reeves and Mortimer. So
David Stott.
Don't forget to collect all the jiggies in this level, and I will teach you our move. And somebody said, "Why are you doing a puppet Jack voice?" I was like, "Oh no, Puppet Jack is David Stott.
Puppet Jack is Donald and/or Davy
It's
Stott.
our mum! She's not here, is she?
She's not here, is she? She escaped. I saw her eyes her eyes in the bush peeping out.
She had in the bushes, her eyes are peeping out.
I like the one where they do question of sport, but the questions are stuff like, Davy, do you have a car? And, and he goes like, yes, I have a big green racing car. And he's like, Davy, man, don't lie, man.
Sting, when you threw the message in a bottle, did you throw it underarm or overarm? It's the best.
Anyway, go on.
Welcome to This Is Your Life.
Oh, man.
Oh, God. But yeah, that's
David, man, get that pillar off your face.
It's my mum.
It's all. My name is David, and I remember you, John.
No, everyone's gonna.
Who's John?
No,
he looks
viewers,
dead.
I've got to call a stop to the Donald and Davy Stott shenanigans.
David
Don't call a stop to Donald and Davy Stott.
We'll have alienated like almost 99%.
Oh, what a shame!
Oh no!
We must refund all the money they paid for this podcast. Oh wait, it's free. It don't matter.
This is why we need Sober Jack.
Come back, Jack.
Look at the stage.
Your
Look
fault
what
for doing a
happened when I left
bifter.
it to you.
Your fault for doing the devil's weed while we all went for a Jimmy Riddle.
So AEW.
AEW. Dynamite Road Rager. I'm still waiting for Puppet Maffew to show up, but it's just an arsehole. Dynamite Road Rager. Cody Rhodes opened the show, and God, is it nice to hear the crowds being there for AEW. Yeah. Very loud, very boisterous. So, of course, they're going to start with Cody Rhodes' match. Get all that heat. He wins a strap match against QT Marshall, despite some interference early on QT's trainees. Dustin was on hand to chase them away.
And I forgot to mention, and the lights flickered during...
They did. Got paid the leggy. And this was just a strap match. Every single strap match is the same. None of them will be ever good as Vega versus Austin from '96. But still, Who cares? What's he known as in Japan? Puppet Vega! No, you're an idiot. Stop it. You're ruining the podcast. So, yeah, it just was, tick these boxes, have the crowd get hot, bing, bang, bong. Any thoughts there, Jack?
No, but that's fine because of what happened later on. So it's okay. I think that's what we have much more. Tom?
I liked the opening match. I liked it was a good choice. I know people rag on Cody for kind of, the way he presents himself as a bigger character than he probably is, and a lot of people rag on him for that. But I thought this was the right match to get the ball rolling. And also, like, if Cody's kind of running the show as well, get your match done, get back there and crack on with your job.
Yeah, that really successful QT Marshall feud. Well done. Backstage, Sean Spears gloats about hitting Sammy with a chair until Sammy shows up and hits him with a chair.
Yeah, this was a weird bit.
How do we know? How do we know you're really Sammy Guevara? You could be a gloater. You could come here. We always get the gloaters coming in, gloating this, gloating that.
What's that from? Is that Monty Python?
It's Blackadder the second. He's going to see. He's accidentally killed the husband, so he's like asking questions about him of his wifey. So it's, no, let me see my husband. He's like, yes, but we have put a bag on his head. You fiend!
Yeah.
And your arm grew back.
Your arm grew back. What?
You could be a gloat. Yes.
Your deep booming voice like this. No, even like this.
Is that better?
My little pumpkiny wumpkiny.
Yeah.
More classic BBC comedy references. Sorry,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
2 minutes. What do you want from us?
All available on the BBC iPlayer.
But the Elizabethan era of Blackadder was the best one in my opinion. Anyway, where was I going with this? Yeah, Spears and Guevara. I don't quite like Spears' chair thing anymore. I think he needs some because he just hits people with chairs, and sometimes that can be bad in wrestling. Do you know what I mean?
Especially Sammy throwing a chair. Like,
Okay.
when we did that in my Hardy and he like bled everywhere. You're like, well, we're doing that again. Hey. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it was safe. It was safe as it could be because you saw Spears. You saw it coming a mile away, like you could tell. So that's all right. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Kenny Omega and Don Callis come out to talk about how Omega has beaten everyone and there are no more challenges left. Evil Uno interrupts and says he knows somebody who can beat Kenny. He goes, my friend Maffew, who I am a mate of. No,
My new friend Ross from Straight to Hell.
that's right,
Yes.
Straight to hell, where you're going, Omega. Not the podcast show. We should be so lucky, but actual hell, because it is finally time for Hangman Page and Omega to get it on. Kenny goes, do you know what the capital of Thailand is?
Christian did this exact bit.
Oh, mate, at school we did this. This is not a
I
bit
know,
that is like
I
like
always
Eddie
remember,
Murphy stand-up, bro.
But I always remember Christian doing this exact bit in Impact. So is this all right? Yeah, it's probably fine.
Yeah, on the next episode, he's going to go, what type of cheap trainers are you wearing? And he's go, kick us. Don't mind if I do.
At
All the
least,
classics.
at least it was done in a very Kenny Omega way because Uno was like, "Why is this a ruse? Of course I know what." Then he just goes off, just kicks him anyway. I'd like that little wrinkle to it. You know?
And Kenny seemed to be getting booed, which I'm thankful for, because last time we showed pay-per-view, a guest, they're like, yay, Omega. I'm like, no, please boo him.
Yeah, but he's so excited.
He couldn't be more annoying and stupid as a character. You're supposed to boo him. Omega, yeah! Oh, shut up.
But I love this segment. I love this segment generally because it was so simple. Like it was just pantomime, wasn't it? It was just Omega and Callis going, "No one can beat me. There's nobody left." While the crowd are like, "No!"
There is somebody stupid. And it's the fan who's going to run out during the Jericho bit.
Oh no!
Sorry, but yeah, Hangman coming out here and the reaction, the stare down. Yes, finally.
Yeah.
The story has been beautifully told. Like,
Your mic sounds different there, Tom.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it's
No,
just
now
because
it sounds the same.
you were way closer to the mic.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Is that better?
My
story,
hangmanny wangity.
my hangary
That
wangary.
sounds weird. Sorry.
There was the chap who on Twitter did the entire thread, kind of like a little Bluffers guide for non-wrestling fans, to the intricately woven story that is Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega, and then the plots and twists and turns it's made, and if it has been, I think because we're so used to wrestling being a slapdash sometimes when it comes to presentation and booking like this, so if this all has been intricately booked this way, I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed.
I think that it probably wasn't at the start, but then once they decided to make him a singles and they broke him up, and if it has, then totally fair play. But what I like about it is it's not too convoluted, you know what I mean? It's got meaning and depth, and it's got a few, not so much twists and turns, but it's got developments like how he was their friend, then they kicked him out, then he turned on Omega, and it just all works so well, but it's easy to remember as well. So it's complicated enough to be good, but it's simple enough to be effective, if that makes sense as well.
100%, mate. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks,
Cheers,
mate.
Man.
JR has a sit-down interview with Darby Allin and Ethan Page, and he is disturbed by their hatred.
I'm a little disgusted, you guys. That was Carmen.
What? Hey, you guys! Have you been discussing with you?
It's Friday, and you were not that means.
It's WWE Dynamite. Did you hear him call He called Excalibur by his first name on this one. Oh, thanks, Mark. I was like, oh, no.
No, I was just talking. I thought he was just talking rude stuff.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Mark.
You remembering all the right things, you Mark.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark. Darby says Page is jealous of his success, while Page says he plucked Darby from obscurity and taught him lessons that brought him to AEW. JR says he has a bad feeling about their coffin match.
Oh, but Darby says you shouldn't do Jim. I forgot to put that bit in, sorry.
I think Jim in this sort of role, like mediator in interviews and talking head, I think he's still got mileage. I think he's still got gravitas. I think he's still got the right energy. If he ends up being moved away from commentary to do this, then I'm really happy with that, because I feel like he's comfortable and he adds that, like, as I say again, that gravitas to it. I feel like he's more effective here, and I liked him more here doing stuff like this than I do on commentary.
Yeah, and it's sad because it's JR and he's
it's
such a legend
so
and
sad,
everything.
yeah.
But I mean, when you've got Taz, who's one of the best commentators, he's so good. Like, Taz is just so good, and I know that he's also a character. He's also like a manager, but I would really enjoy Excalibur play-by-play, and then Taz and Shivani as the two guys. Like, I just, I understand that when you change the channel, if you're not too familiar with wrestling for the last 20 years, and you hear Jim Ross's voice, you're more likely to stick around. I get why they've done it, because you're going to go, whoa, hang on, what's this?
Yeah, but how long are you going to do that for, is the question. That's because I get why you do it. I get, why you keep... you want to have something so when people turn on, they can hear a recognisable voice. But then you've got Tony Schiavone there, I'd argue. I know Jim Ross is in a slightly different wheelhouse with that. But so how long do you have him on there for the sake of the people that are switching channels? Surely by now, like, the people that are going to, there's an establishment of AEW that's there. So maybe think about moving him into a role like this. JR is a value, is an asset to AEW. I feel like his best commentary days aren't here. But I feel like he's still an asset to AEW.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's easy just to go, oh, he said WWE, sack him. No, don't, because there's still a lot to get from having JR there.
It's just when people go, like, how dare you criticise Jim Ross? How dare... All he did was say the wrong company's name. I'm like, you're supposed to be able to criticise people like that. It's not the end of the world, but then when people get their backs up and go, Jim Ross has had 500 years experience calling wrestling, and you're like, we know that's the problem. That just confused me. MJF and Jericho have a face-to-face meeting in the ring, which is briefly interrupted by a fan hopping the barricade. Thank God Jericho was there, who has a long history of punching fans in the face. So... If anybody else, that might have been a horrible situation. Well done, Jericho, for diffusing that. Jericho says he'll do... The fan ran in to say, hey, your match versus Rob Van Dam at 2002 King of the Ring was only 3 stars, so of course Jericho had to punch him. Jericho says he'll do anything to have another match with MJF, even have sex with MJF's mother again.
Again!
He
didn't say again like Jericho says again. He just went, again! I was like, no, you're Christian, say again!
Again.
Again.
MJF refuses to be provoked and says that in order to get another match with him, Jericho will have to win 4 bouts with stipulation opponents picked by MJF. They shake hands and Jericho lays MJF out with the Judas effect. So it's the Cody MJF feud again.
Kind of, but with all matches and no lash. All matches, no lashes, as some 41.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I think it'll be quite interesting. Does that mean he's going to pick Pinnacle members, or...?
I think he is going to pick Pinnacle members.
Okay.
I'd assume he has to fight his way through Pinnacle to get to MJF.
It's like Spears in a chairs match and stuff like that, possibly. Wardlow in a...
Cage match?
Yes, might be the cage match again. Maybe FTR. But
And
he's going to win.
Sammy.
He's going to win all of them, though. He's going to win.
Sammy's going to beat him in the 4th match.
Why Sammy?
Because he's the best.
But he's not a pinnacle man.
Oh, I've misunderstood. I thought you meant Jericho would have to take on his own men.
Oh, the Inner Circle.
Which is Inner Circle. Oh God, I'm repeating.
Oh no, that would
God.
be. That would be cool as well.
I thought that MJF was going to be a dick and have him wrestle his own dudes.
He might do. He might.
I mean, there is that.
They've brawled and had feuds for so long. I forgot which one was which side.
But then surely the logic would be the Inner Circle members would just go, I tell you what, I'll lie down because I want you to get a piece of MJF. I'll lie down.
Some of them are too proud and or powerful to do that. Yeah.
This is why I don't book wrestling, because it doesn't make sense. Well, I'm looking forward to that. Andrade El Idolo wins his first AW match, beating Matt Sydal. Man, there were a lot of interesting opinions on this match online.
Yeah.
I think because it wasn't a barn burner, people were really, really critical about it. Like, they're expecting Andrade to finally... Never mind that Vicky Guerrero stuff. It lets him come out and do his stuff and it'd be fantastic. And it was just all right.
He's going to have some great matches once he builds up to... Andrade's not going to suddenly forget how to have an amazing match. You know what I mean? He's still Andrade, guys. Yeah. Come on. I'm a big fan of Andrade, so I got quite edgy. I was like, stop criticising my boy. But we'll see.
It is weird, though, when he's got Vicky still, and you thought, all right, he's got Vicky, and she gets, more heat than a basement boiler. The crowd is still cheering him. So you go, all right, well, what's the point of it then?
It's always tricky, isn't it? Because whenever they bring someone in from WWE, they're going to get cheered at first, probably. Yeah. So, I don't know.
For just being there.
Maybe just have him do some nasty stuff instead of just talking about how good he is. Because people just agree he's good. Have him, I don't know.
Hey guys, I suck.
No.
I'm overrated. Boo.
Maybe that was the point. Maybe that was why the match wasn't like a barn burner.
Oh my God, you're right.
He's average. Boo!
Average El Idolo make his way. No.
Have you seen that?
Andrade El Middlin.
I've just realised. It applies more to Hangman than Andrade maybe, but the South Park episode where they run a wrestling show.
Done with Jim Ross on.
Yeah.
And Vince comes to it and he's like, this is pretty good wrestling. Like that. There's a bit where the joke is that wrestling is just drama. It's not actually action, it's just all drama. So they're like, where is he? Hiding here in the forest. And they're like, it's all just a theatre, it's all just a play. There's barely any fighting. And one of the characters is giving like a monologue. I think he's called Wild Man, and he's like, I lost faith in myself. And then in the crowd, there's just one person slowly raising his side, just says, stop running, Wild Man. And I'm just like, that's so, like, when you were talking about Andrade not thinking he's good enough, it's more like Hangman. I can imagine Hangman like having the same response from someone. Stop running from yourself, Hangman. It would just be so good.
Arn Anderson heads to the ring for an interview with Tony Schiavone on a brand new episode of... Arn Anderson heads to the ring with an interview with Tony Schiavone on a brand new episode of WCW Nitro. Let's go down and come back to reveal Aleister Black, a.k.a. Tommy End, a man I once wrestled in Dusseldorf, a.k.a. Malachi Black. Thanks for clearing that up, Excalibur.
Is that what you said?
No, he went, that is Tommy End. Jim was like, oh, fantastic. But it is actually Malachi Black. He's a...
It was even more convoluted the way he said it. He said, that's Tommy End. I wrestled him in Dusseldorf. But that man standing in the ring is not Tommy End.
You can imagine JR being like, oh, just keep it. Why are you telling
What's
me
his
this?
name, damn it?
Yeah. Tell me his name, kid.
It's like Jim Ross trying to follow Dragon Ball Z. So wait, that's Frieza, yeah, but then that's... Yeah, it's just Frieza in a different form, right? But that's still Goku, but he's got big yellow hair, yeah? He's just Super Saiyan. Had enough of this.
Not Tom, sorry, Sam told me about when JR... It's a story Sam likes to tell because it's a great one. About how he had like a weird little production meeting with JR before he commentated on one of our shows because Sam was the live director. And he was quite nervous. And JR's advice to him was, just push all the buttons, baby. Which I think is absolutely fantastic. Oh, God. Just push all the buttons, baby.
Just push all the buttons, baby.
So, yeah. Malachi Black with a 30-day no compete. Well done, mate. And he kicked Cody.
And on.
Really like him.
And on.
And he should be standing there.
Big pop as well when that light came up. Big pop.
Yeah,
that was
big
nice to hear.
meaty pop.
Malachi
Meaty
Black.
pop.
Malachi Black was wearing a black suit, and Cody was wearing a light-coloured suit, and it was like,
Whoa, slow down, Jack.
whoa, slow down.
Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander beat the Blade and the Bunny in a mixed tag match.
So cute.
Yeah, they did.
So wholesome.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
it,
just-
Yep. Then MMA coach Dan Lambert is interviewed in the crowd and grabs the mic. Did you see any of his Impact run?
Well, we mentioned this by chance on the podcast like just a week or two ago. Do you remember?
Did we? What? Dan
Yeah,
Lambert?
I was like, maybe it was on something else. Maybe it was on something I was on the channel.
I believe
And
it.
I mentioned, but I couldn't remember his name. I was like, the American top team, the MMA guy in Impact, and it was either you, Maffew, or whoever I was on with was like, oh, Dan Lambert, and I was like, yes, and it was only literally like a week or two ago, and now I couldn't believe it when he turned up. With two massive UFC names as well, by the way, like George Masvidal and Amanda Nunes. So big, I nearly forgot their name. I've nearly forgot their name.
Yeah, Amanda Nunes, he was there. Was such a big star. But
No,
yeah, you're right. Those
yeah.
are legitimate like household names from UFC.
Yeah.
Dan Lambert is great on the mic. He rambled a bit, but hey, he gets the ring, cuts a heel promo on AEW, saying wrestling has gone downhill since the late 90s. And if you don't believe me, come see all the late 90s blokes that now wrestle for this company. The product is unwatchable. He's confronted by a huge company babyface, Lance Archer, who lays him out.
Yeah, I just found it funny that Archer was the one defending the honor of AEW. The man who's like, everybody dies. Everybody. but don't talk bad about my employer, though. I know he's an employee, and I change it.
Everybody dies. Who upsets Tony Khan?
Yeah.
And then the main event, the Young Bucks, with no mustaches now. That was a
Well, they got
1 week
scared of
deal.
mine.
Yeah, exactly. Oof.
Yeah.
Stepping in the territory, Jack. Successfully then defended their tag titles against Penta and Eddie Kingston in the main event street fight. Boo, it says here. This delivered all the thrills and spills I wanted from a street fight. Penta giving the big guns off the apron through a table. Thumbtacks getting involved. The elite killer, Frankie Kazarian, coming out, his little mask and stuff, as if he's like having to sneak in or whatever, it doesn't matter. After that shave, no one knows what he looks like anyway. And yeah, just a lot of beating and stuff. Penta and Eddie Kingston aren't really at that level where they could believably beat a team like the Young Bucks. So I got what I wanted. Wasn't unhappy with the decision. Yeah.
Fun main event. I thought.
Yes.
Fun main event.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. I don't really know what else to say about it, because it was just... It was just a... You remember last week, Maffew, when we were like, which show is going to be better? And I was like, oh, NXT. But AEW, their crowds really do help tip the balance in their favour. Like, the atmosphere is insane sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't necessarily like if you see crowds at NXT, you wouldn't necessarily know they're back.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
I know that AEW has the benefit of only just getting full crowds back as well, but still, like, yeah, totally agree. Like moments like Aleister Black and stuff, or Malachi Black, like it's just really nice to have those moments back, isn't it? Like the big pops and everything and the surprises.
Yeah. Nailed it. And that is, or was, the long week of wrestling. If you like that, we'll have more wrestling next week.
Let's have a rummage in our mail bags.
Let's have a little look in the mailbag. Number 1. Hi, gents. With this week's mixed reaction to the New Day being named by WWE the greatest ever tag team, would you agree that it's high time that a certain subsection of wrestling fans need to stop being prissy little crybabies and focus more on the fact that it's coming home? Also, who is the best tag team ever? I guess. Much love, Mike P. Thank you, Mike.
Mike's writing style is what drew me in there. I was like, he's going in the mailbag. That was good.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of 2010 tag teams, they're the best by far. There's no other tag team that came close to dominance. Maybe The Bar.
I was going to say The Bar. Sheamus and Cesaro, I think, just were such a fluid unit as a team. Has
Mike asked for the best WWE tag teams ever, or just the best tag teams ever?
Well, let's do it with just WWE because.
I want to be indie and cool.
Oh, okay. Who's the indie team?
Oh, I'd have to say it's Bruderschaft, Das, whatever. No, I'll go for well, my favorite WWE tag team ever is Edge and Christian, but that's a nostalgic thing because they were, lovable and funny, but also heels in the Attitude Era. They were like my favorites out of them, the Hardys and the Dudleys. Outside of WWE, it's the Machine Guns for me, the lads. Yes, love those boys. What about you guys?
I think just in terms of years, Edge and Christian were around 98 to 2001.
Yeah, they're King of the Ring.
Only together for 3 years. That's
I know.
Crazy thing to think about. Compared to New Day, who've been together since 2014.
Yeah, but then that
late
period,
2013, I forget.
But then that period of life from 98 to 2001 surely feels that was about 10 years long.
That was 2014. Yeah, in terms of longevity and success, not to mention the trend-setting record length title reign they had, where they beat Demolition's length, and with what, like 10% of the title defenses Demolition had. Just saying. Still, in terms of entertainment, in terms of impact, in terms of how good they were and entertaining and continue to be, which version of the three lads go in? Yeah, I'd say New Day.
Fair enough.
I don't have an issue with New Day being the best tag team ever. I really don't.
Who would you name other than New Day then, Tom?
I mean, old school, probably. I'd say something like Legion of Doom. Like, surely, okay, not the greatest. In terms of New Day has a better rounded package than the Legion of Doom because they're all amazing singles wrestlers. They can put on better tag team classics. In terms of aura and spectacle and charisma, the Legion of Doom, as I was growing up, was a tag team that just grabbed your attention. And the one thing that I think the tag team division teams to lack is that attention grabbing unit. More so now than ever. I think Legion of Doom really did that in their heyday.
The AOP could have been. They really could have been that. They were, for a while I remember thinking, these lads are serious business. Like, this is going to be... I'd also like to throw... I know they're still very much going at the minute, but I'd like to throw the Revival or FTR into the mix. I think they are... I know the argument would be, well, they're just doing what like the Midnight Express or the Brainbusters did. But I think that they're... they've combined the old school like storytelling with modern athleticism and modern how things generally get better as time goes on.
They're a link to the past, aren't they?
But they still are, yes, but they still have like these high octane, really exciting matches at a higher pace sometimes. And I just think that when it's all said and done, I think we'll look back on FTR and be like, bloody hell, like they were something special. I think they're phenomenal. But yeah,
I'll say shout outs to, because they were able to pick up a tag division that was dead and be one of the most successful things on the roster, split up, got back together, just as successful as they were before. You
did not know.
Do.
Your radio edit better call somebody.
That's right, it's Kid Rock. The radio edit. Yes. The lads.
Yeah, New Age Outlaws who were like oddballs who were put to one side, who came together and it just worked. Shouldn't have worked, just did. And like you say, revolutionised the tag division in the late 90s. So that's a good shout. That is actually a very good shout.
We've covered quite a nice variety there. I think we've done well.
Yeah. And variety comes in packs of 8.
Which one I have? I'm in a state.
Hello, Cultaholic friends. May I first start by thanking you for your wonderful podcast. It's been a fixture of my weekly go outside and walk around at least once a week because the world is a hellish nightmare jaunts, and I enjoy it very much. Here's my question. What do you make of NXT on USA, and how does it hold up when compared to NXT on the WWE Network from a few years back? I've been watching every week since Neville won the NXT title from Bo Dallas in early 2014, and I've seen thousands of faces and heels, it says here, pass through the black and gold brand. I've been enjoying it more in recent weeks with the return of Cole and Joe, but I'm convinced the longer USA imposed runtime, the removal of instantaneous WWE Network viewing, and those bloody Papa John's Shaq-dominated picture-in-picture breaks where you won't miss a bit of the action have really negatively impacted the product as a whole. Also, Mauro was phenomenal, and his presence is missed every week. Anyways, apologies for the ramblings, and I'm looking forward to being reunited with you all soon. Much love. Oh, Ben Potter from Triple Jump.
Yes.
we know you.
Ben.
Oh, hello, Paul.
It's
Ben wrote in.
Ben.
He did.
It's Pablo's godfather, Ben. See, now Pablo has to go to the Hall of Fame because Ben has written in. Is Pablo's godfather's in, so it's got to happen.
I didn't know he watched wrestling.
He's a massive fan of Zoe Stark at the moment. Is Ben?
He loves NXT. He's an NXT fan.
On a Friday, I'll get a message in the evening going, "Hey, Zoe Stark was good this week," and I go, "Yeah, it was good, wasn't it?" And I sent him a message on Wednesday saying, "Good night for your favourite last night," and he went, "Oh, spoilers! What you doing?" I was like, "I'm not saying what happened. I'm just saying it was a good night. I'll say no more." So by now, hopefully, he knows. So, hello to Ben Potter.
The only issue is I included it because I thought that's wonderful, and also everyone check out Triple Jump if you're into video games. But the problem is that I just agree with him totally. Like I've got no nuance to add to the argument because I think he's nailed it pretty much.
I think that moving to USA it changed everything for NXT because I personally, because I watched NXT all the way through the pandemic and I've watched it for years and years and years, and I loved NXT at its most when it was what it was set out to be, which was a game show. No, when it was a developmental system. So you get these guys coming in, smaller, more intimate crowd, trying different things. Some stuff worked, some stuff didn't, but the energy from there was really good. And then when they went on to USA, went to 2 hours, went up against AEW, everything changes then because it's no longer a developmental system. Now it's a third brand, and you are quarter for quarter trying to match what AEW are doing, and that changes the whole feel of the show for me. And
even now that AEW's, even now that NXT's moved nights, I'd argue it's still that point still very much stands. Like
they've gone down maybe a gear, but which is good because I like I want those shows to breathe and I want them to try new things again. But running it as a third brand on the level of Raw and SmackDown, I think has changed what it was all about and changed why we loved it. And I actually agree with Ben. I think if you go back and watch really old, like the older episodes of NXT, you'll see some crackers from some people who would go on to become big names, but slightly. And it was a really fun time, those early, and I'm still enjoying, like Great American Bash was still a great show. When it's about the wrestling and it's less about like the sort of trying to pace a show, like it's still good. But yeah, I think when it was a network show, when it was kind of like a little secret where people would get tried out and do things like that, and I did prefer it. A lot of people, when you argue that, NXT, like WWE aren't good at calling people up, people will reel off the list of, I think you'll find Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, da-da-da. They'll reel off all these names. Yeah, they all came through that system and are doing well. But it was a very different system when they were doing it. It was designed to be a developmental system that was sort of off to the side. Since they've started running up against, since they ran up against AEW, since they've been on the USA Network, there's a disconnect, and it's obvious. It's very, very obvious.
Yeah. It's still my favourite part of WWE, apart from the Roman stuff, which has been phenomenal. But generally speaking, NXT, I think, is still the strongest show that WWE do. But you're right. And I think Ben makes a really good point about the runtime. I enjoy when it had a smaller roster, 1 hour long. And sometimes do you remember that random, was it like Bala Nakamura or someone had like an hour long?
Yeah.
But it was just like a one-off special thing. And you were like, oh, every show was so tight and so like well done because it was just an hour and that's what you got, and it was like you knew you were getting something quality in that hour. But yeah,
you'd always get something good. Yeah.
I think you've said nearly everything, Tom. I'll just say, because I've started enjoying NXT again after not really, because I know one of the benefits of NXT from a few years ago compared to today was people went to NXT, they stayed for a bit, they improved or they stuck around, did their act a bit more, got good at it, and then they'd leave. Now we have a lot of the same people who have just stuck around NXT, and it's become this thing where it's like, oh, okay, people are staying now, right? So we have to do something with these sods. We're never leaving. Sometimes it's worked all right, and sometimes it's like, no, I'm not in the mood for seeing this dude have this match yet again, like the Coles and Garganos and stuff like that. Been watching for 5 years now. No one else in NXT has been around that long and had that same thing, apart from Angelo Dawkins. But then even he moved up. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
that'll delight Ben because he's a particularly big fan of Angelo Dawkins.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad he's delighted. Hello, Ben. Number 3. Hi, guys. Hope you are all okay. Been watching old Raws, SmackDowns, and pay-per-view in order from 2002. Wow. Ooh. I was watching Insurrection, which got me thinking.
Mwah.
And it says, fun fact, Insurrection 02 was technically the WWF's last pay-per-view, as the next Raw is WWE. That's right. Do you think WWE will ever do a UK pay-per-view, even if it's just a big house show and nothing happens? Or do you also think if AEW do a UK show, will it be a pay-per-view or just TV? And how big of a deal do you think they will make it? Thanks, guys. Keep up the great work. Will from the Wirral, near Liverpool.
Will.
We've got Jack Atkins.
There's a PS. If Andrew is covering for Ross this week, just want to say glad to see the Bald Boys reprised in Cultaholic.
Well, thank you very much, young man.
I'm cross. I'm Carrie.
I'm cross.
Just to say to Will, we actually have a Wirral man in our office. Not physically in our office at the minute, obviously, but in our company.
We keep him in the cupboard and feed him pins.
Jack Atkins, one of our very talented writers, is from the Wirral, and is like devastated that he's a wool. Scouse people who are actually from Liverpool call them wools because they're from over the water. I don't quite understand, but we all have our regional foibles, don't we?
We certainly do.
Look, yeah, you're one of them, Jack.
Bacon. Oh, right. Did you just call me a regional foible?
Well-known regional foible, Jack King.
That'd be the name. If I was a wrestler, that'd be my finishes name. It's the regional foible.
That would be a great name, actually.
It would be my prefix. Yeah. I can imagine
the regional foible, Jack King.
The regional foible. Yeah.
From the wrong end of town, the regional foible. The Smackhead special. Sorry.
Wow.
No, sorry. I was just thinking about my region. The bad bit of town.
Oh no, I am. I am from Jarrow.
Oh no, I am a Smackhead.
No, but I am from.
Yeah, it wasn't called a new one. Sorry, Paul.
No, but I am from Jarrow, so it's all right.
And I think Will from the Wirral sounds like a nice place, but I don't think he seems to be aware of this little thing called what's that say? NXT UK.
Oh, stop it! No.
Doing their takeovers.
Guys.
I mean, they're surely if they're on the network or if they're on the cock, then they're just as special as a UK only pay-per-view.
But this is what we'll have instead. Actually, when we talked about this bloody week in the wrestling, there was 2 little things that came out of NXT UK which got overlooked, and that's because it just happens. B. Priestley debuted in NXT UK last night, and we have the announcement that in 2 weeks' time we're getting Volta Dragunov 2.
Oh!
So that's going to be a good time.
Yeah, that's going to be good. How are they going to make it? How are they going to make it different from the first? Or should they even?
2 hours long.
Yeah.
2 hours long.
That was that won the Culty for Match of the Year last year.
Oh,
it's a great match. So good. So give us that again, you cowards. And they are in 2 weeks' time.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Totally fair.
But
What's
I don't think
Match of the Year this year? Anyway, sorry, carry on.
That will.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. We're at the halfway mark. That should be the big question, actually, should it?
What's been the Match of the Year so far?
I assume we've got a big question for this week.
We're at the halfway point.
Yeah, we'll think of one.
Yeah, we'll think of one. Should probably saying this as we're doing the podcast. I'm very sorry. What were you going to say, Tom?
We'll never see a WWE Sky box office pay-per-view again. We won't. At the time they made sense because that was a different way of consuming things. We don't need an insurrection like as hilarious as they are, like a juiced up house show. As hilarious as they are, they will never happen again because if anything, we'll get Raw out of probably Manchester or London twice a year, or SmackDown out of London or Manchester twice a year, and we'll get NXT UK takeovers. Which will sort of tick that box. AEW, I think they'll do a Dynamite out of Craven Cottage in the next 12 months.
Oh, what a shout! What a shout!
Out the button, Ben.
Yeah, I think that's what they'll do. But I don't think we'll never get a rebellion or an insurrection, which it's fine. I know.
If they did Craven Cottage, that's so apt, Tom. That's so apt. That's so Bill apt.
They've technically got the keys for it, so they might as well use it.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Dynamite at Craven Cottage.
And it looks quite striking. It's one of the more distinct top flight. Well, they're not. They're obviously one of the. I feel like I've slighted some Fulham fans there.
Just so Jim Ross can call them Fulham United at some point.
Fulham.
We're here in Fulham.
We're here in Fulham, Soccer City. Now, I think... No, and Craven Cottage looks quite striking compared to most like modern football stadia. So I think that'll work really well. I think that... Weren't there rumblings once? And I remember you talking about it, Tom, but I think you might have been... You were maybe being a bit of a cheeky boy by riling up the... whipping us up into excitement. Because when Drew was calling out Tyson Fury and vice versa, when you saying, "Oh, could be a SummerSlam in the UK," and then obviously COVID stopped anything like that.
Yeah, there was some rumor and innuendo that they would do a there was a conversation, a very brief conversation that did the rounds of like Drew versus Tyson Fury, SummerSlam Wembley.
I mean, next year it'll be 30 years since SummerSlam '92.
Yeah, and I, do you know what? I wonder whether they will mark that occasion by next year doing NXT UK Takeover Wembley. And have Davey Boy Smith Jr. beat Volta. That's my call. That's my call. NXT UK Takeover Wembley. They'll do it at the Little Wembley Arena, and it'll be Davey Boy Smith versus Volta, and it'll be Davey Boy Smith Jr. beating Volta. Calling it.
Shouldn't he have to be whoever the Bret Hart of NXT UK, like the Tyler Bate or something? Tyler Bate's a bit too flashy, I suppose. To be Bret.
I think it'll just be Volta. I think just because Volta will have had that a 2 million day reign, and it'll be Davey Boy Smith Jr. If Dragunov doesn't do it in 2 weeks, it'll be Davey Boy Smith Jr. next year at TakeOver Wembley.
Well, I want it to be the King of the North, Rampage Brown. But
I'd love Rampers to do it. I'd love a Rampers to do it. I'd like Rampers to go to the American one and just batter everybody, but I don't know whether that'll happen or not.
He could if it was real. He could if he wanted to.
Oh, if he wanted to, he'd be there.
It's real. You know. But do you remember... So you're trying to build up the idea of SummerSlam 92 20 years later.
30 years later.
30 years later.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for making
30 years of hurt. Is that so we can go...
30 years of hurt.
Is that so we can sing that song again next year? Do
you remember when Shane McMahon called out Jose Mourinho? I know you. You're Jose Mourinho of the Chelsea soccer team.
I wish I remember the Manchester house show I attended in 08. We went... Here's the local Manchester United player. So I can't remember who it was.
Oh no, but in Manchester, yeah. They're all City.
Wait, aren't they?
Was it the same show where they had a Divas match as it was then, and it was like all the faces were in Man United tops and the heels were in Man Liverpool tops or Man City tops. But they thought, hey, they'll cheer the Manchester team. Boo!
They've never
I don't
understand
that. British fans.
It just doesn't work that way.
I like the confusion the British fans caused. There was the NXT UK shows they did in Norwich, and there was somebody had mentioned Dan Maloney for some reason, and Triple H is in the ring, and the crowd are all going, Dan! 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 And Triple H goes, I don't get that reference. To which everyone starts chanting Alan Partridge. And he's like, still don't get it. Fun times.
Oh no, what was I gonna... I just forgot something. Never mind. Oh, man. So feet and forearms are...
He needs another pasty.
Yeah. What was I going to say, man? It was relevant and everything.
NXT UK, Takeover, Wembley, Fulham, Craven Cottage,
crowds,
Rampers.
English crowds, maybe.
Rampers, Volta, Box Office, Rebellion, Insurrection.
BT Sports, VHS tapes, Power Slam magazine.
At WCPW, it turns out Bubba Ray Dudley knows his stuff better than WWE did in that Manchester show, because we went to Manchester and he deliberately wore his Liverpool scarf to the ring. And I don't know how he knew. I think he's a real Liverpool soccer fan. And he wore it to the ring, and he got loads of heat for it, obviously, because he wore a Liverpool scarf in Manchester. But I was very impressed with that. I was like, wow.
It's nice when people pay attention, isn't it?
I think he's a real football fan. I think he's actually a football fan, yeah.
He's probably just asked somebody and just gone, what's the crack here? Who don't we like?
I think he tweets a lot about AC Milan. He supports them, I think, as well, because he's Italian-American.
Oh.
There you go.
But I wouldn't be surprised if some wrestlers did just ask and just have to trust.
I would. If it was me, I go, who do we not like around here? Right,
Tyson Kidd with the Sutherland shirt at the NXT.
Absolutely phenomenal. I think someone threw it.
Someone threw it and he went, well, people are booing that. I'm wrestling Neville.
Yes.
Yeah.
Genius. And he looked good in it as well. Sorry.
Tyson Kidd always looked good.
Yes, he did. Jermaine Defoe made an appearance at a Newcastle house show shortly after scoring the winner against Newcastle.
Yeah, Ross was talking about that, wasn't he?
No, it was me because I never failed to bring up a chance to when we beat the Mags when Defoe scored. Oh my word!
Oh, that's right. And now I remember why I've blocked this out my memory. Well, it was a lovely mailbag this week, wasn't it? So we've quickly
it was a good one. It was.
Thank you very much for the lovely thoughts, queries, and things that are just in your head. Please send them to mailbag@cultaholic.com. Reese's Pieces. Stop. Should we do an R on 3?
Yeah, okay.
1, 2, 3. Reese's Pieces. Good afternoon, gents. I am currently in the hospital for the 4th day in a row and watch the podcast / other videos on the channel to pass the time while laying here with immense pain.
I hope you get well soon.
If my own issues weren't enough, my roommate keeps trying to escape our room while completely naked because he refuses to wear any clothes. Oh, he knows Terry Funk. If this wasn't enough, my wedding is in a week from today, on July 10th, and we're going forward with the plans, hoping I will be well enough to make an appearance. And a lad.
To make an appearance. So, is there a chance that you'll just, if I'm not at my wedding in 15 minutes, start without me? Get married without me?
You'll do an Alistair Black. The lights will go down, and then comes out in the suit.
He's here.
I was going to do the edge.
Takes out the priest. Bah! No,
I guess he's not here on the stage. Yeah, no, not like this. To stop myself from rambling on, I wanted to submit. Oh, we hate rambling.
Well, you haven't, but never mind.
I wanted to submit a Reese's Pieces that's actually wrestling related. Ugh. This is a pay-per-view bi-month Reese's Pieces. Thanks, guys, for everything you do, and especially during this time of uncertainty in my life. Enjoy. Andrew Smith. Andrew,
big love,
thank
Andrew.
you very much for the lovely message. Thank you very much for the lovely Reese's Pieces, which we'll read in a second. But bloody hell, pal, it's nice to see you keep the optimism during these very trying times for yourself. Never mind what's happening in the rest of the world with yourself. All the best for you, pal, and I hope the wedding goes all right.
All the best.
Definitely. 100%.
On that note, we'll go fastest thought first. So Jack being the fastest will go first, then Tom, then me. January. Sold Out versus Royal Rumble versus Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh, Royal Rumble.
Rumble. Yeah, chance.
Yeah, come on.
February, Elimination Chamber versus No Way Out versus The New Beginning.
I like No Way Out.
I'll go No Way Out as well. I'll be
yeah.
I thought someone would go for Chamber. Oh, yeah.
It sometimes it's good, sometimes it's just, well, Chamber time.
Yeah.
March, Uncensored versus Fastlane.
Uncensored. It's always rubbish. It's always rubbish. Definitely uncensored.
Out of the two, I guess Uncensored, yes.
Uncensored. Because it's rubbish. April, WrestleMania versus Backlash.
WrestleMania. Okay, Tom.
I'm kidding. It's gotta be Mania.
Whoa. WrestleMania. May, Double or Nothing versus Wrestling Dontaku versus Extreme Rules.
It's got to be Wrestling Dontaku, but no, Double or Nothing, partly because myself and Maffew were privileged enough to go, and it was awesome. And also, it seems to be their big one, although I'm not sure really, is it? I'll go Double or Nothing.
I'll go Wrestling Dontaku just to be better obscure company, because normally we have some nice surprises like around Wrestling Dontaku time. So I'll go.
Okay.
You live in Puro. I'll go for Double or Nothing because of edibles. That's it. Also some wrestling. Money in the Bank versus King of the Ring versus Dominion.
Right, I know this might not be very popular because Dominion's often got some excellent matches on, and because King of the Ring, like the nostalgia factor, but I still get excited for Money in the Bank. Things change. We wear the staircases. They like to change. Tom.
King of the Ring. I love King of the Ring. Like it's an old school concept that I get why nobody wants it anymore, because you've kind of got Money in the Bank, which is sort of King of the Ring on acid, because it's just like one match, everyone's in it, you get the case. When do you want the title shot? I don't know, whenever. Like King of the Ring's a bit more slow and plodding in that, but I've always been a big fan of a tournament to crown, and normally when somebody new comes in, like when Brock Lesnar won it in 2002, like it feels like a turning point. I like King of the Ring for that.
Fair.
Yeah, I'd say the same. Money in the Bank is a big cluster match. Yeah, could be fun, but the gimmick's so played out. It's become like the 24/7 title. It was good for a few years, but I was like, all right, like you need to do something different with it, or just. I always get months of people going, oh, is he cashing in? Oh, he says he's cashing in. The referee says he's cashing in. Oh no, the referee's got a hernia and he can't do the count. No, man, cool. Next week on Raw.
I will say, in Money in the Bank's defense, I do still get excited for the night itself, even if I know I've not. My brain's not yet learned that it's crap. And also, Money in the Bank 2011 was like the show that got me fully back in and all that. So I've got to.
Yeah, well said. July, the Great American Bash, WCW versus Fully Loaded versus Battleground.
Fully Loaded 2000 in particular, which was one of the, as you and I know, Maffew, doing the classic SmackDown review, one of the better WWF pay-per-views of an amazing year of WWF wrestling. Like, Fully Loaded is always a cracker of a show.
I'm going Fully Loaded as well, specifically because of 2000 as well. Wasn't that the one where it's The Rock versus Voldemort? And it's like the archetypal Rock comeback match where he's like down and out, and then, it's brilliant. What else is on that one?
Angle, Undertaker.
I'm not a fan of that one because Undertaker buries Angle, but that's okay.
Yeah, Jericho and Triple H, Last
Man Standing. Yes, I knew there was another sick match on it. Yes.
And Rikishi versus Val Venus in the
Steel
cage.
cage.
Oh, the sleeper hit of the century. Wow. Is that when Rikishi jumps off the cage?
That's the one.
Why does nobody talk? Why does that not get talked about more?
Because I did it for the Raw.
It's true. No one talks about that enough.
Yeah.
I think it's a fun match, and that spot is excellent as well. It's a really good show, Fully Loaded. If you want something to watch on the network or Peacock this weekend, check out Fully Loaded 2000 and thank us later.
I want to see your Peacock.
Peacock.
That was
well, same as everybody else. August, SummerSlam versus Road Wild.
SummerSlam.
I kind of want to be just an arse and just say Road Wild.
Okay.
No, it has to be SummerSlam. Like as fun as a show in amongst a bunch of bikes is, with Jay Leno in the main event. As fun as all that is.
Brum, brum. I love them revving their engines to show appreciation. Oh, what a great high spot. Vroom, vroom.
That concept would have worked during the pandemic era. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, they did that in AAA. They had their cars surrounding the ring, and wasn't quite the same, though. Anyway, SummerSlam, SummerSlam 92, Wembley, etc., etc. It's coming on. September, Unforgiven versus Night of Champions versus All Out.
All Out, just because I've not really... Neither of the other two have ever really... There must have been some good Unforgivens in the past, to be fair.
Do you know what? There have been some good Unforgivens in the past. I will point you to Unforgiven 98, which had the first Inferno match, but then it was held in April as opposed to September.
Okay.
You had 99
2001?
99 with the six-pack challenge.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Steve Austin is the enforcer. What do I feel? What do I see? Oh, it all goes away. Unforgiven 2000 had... What did Unforgiven 2000
The four-way.
It was the four-way. That's not a bad four-way. It's all right. Yeah. It's all right. 2001 had Angle Austin.
Angle
2.
Austin.
That was the night that full Americana Angle became the WWF champion again.
Yeah.
Good match between those two.
Chronic versus Undertaker and Kane.
Unforgiven
Great
02.
match.
Oh, yeah, that was a historic match. Unforgiven 02 had Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker in a match that featured a music video featuring Gavin Rossdale's Adrenaline. That's a thing I always know. Too much is not enough. Good music video to that match. It ended with Undertaker hoying Brock Lesnar through the sign at the end, on the top of the ramp, because getting the young lads over.
Yeah.
Unforgiven 03.
It's all right, Tommy Sway, but I'm going for Unforgiven.
No,
we don't need to name all of them.
Was Unforgiven 03? Well, then I'll shut the F up. Was Unforgiven 03? Was that where we had JR and Jerry Lawler teaming up?
Oh, yeah, it was with
Coach and
Goldberg,
Bishop?
Triple H in the main event, with the one where Goldberg beat Triple H finally.
But there was a JR and Jerry Lawler tag match.
Is it JR and
Bischoff and Coach?
No, It was Coachman and
JR and Jerry Lawler versus
Maffew.
not Maffew.
Maffew, you are never allowed to laugh at me again when you say fastest thought first. I'm just saying right now. And it's fine. When Tom's on, that's definitely cool. But when we go back to Ross being on, if I take a fraction of a second and you go, fastest thought first, Jack, I'm going to quit forever.
That's a good shout, to be fair, mate.
No, it's fine.
Oh, sorry. I mean, he's absolutely right. I realize we're doing the Unforgiven list every main event thing.
Coach and Al Snow.
Go with...
Coach and Al Snow.
Okay, fantastic. We move on now.
Oh, wow.
No, because I've not done the others yet.
Lola would have really had to carry that. Well, no, Al Snow. What am I talking about?
Scramble
Lola
matches.
would have really had to carry that one.
Hey. Scramble matches in later years. Carry on.
Oh, Spanky. Sorry, yes.
Yeah, I was going to pick Unforgiven 08, not just because of the scramble matches, which could have been a great idea if they got someone to explain the rules bloody properly, but also Batista shirtless in the rain going, as opposed to...
I recently learned that my girlfriend's mum fancies Batista, which I find... Let's just hope Bethany doesn't have similar taste to her mum, because I've got no... I mean, I've got no chance.
Don't worry about it. You'll be fine.
Seen Batista.
Yeah.
Seen him, mate. Seen him.
He's a bit big, isn't he? He's a big boy.
He's a large man.
You've got the charisma of Batista.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you're right. October, Halloween Havoc versus Kings of Pro Wrestling.
Halloween Havoc.
Oh, Halloween Havoc. It's cool. It's fun. It's cool.
Yeah. Nice aesthetic.
It's a shoe. It's a cake. It's a shoe.
It's a shoe cake.
It's a cakey shoe.
Lucas, are you saying when I went to your restaurant and you said... Oh, anyway, sorry.
You're just a fakey cake maker and I ain't got time for you.
I feel like there's been far too much Reeves on this podcast.
It's when he floats across the stage.
Yeah. Reeves, you work shy fop.
Halloween Havoc. Because...
Yes.
Oh, because there's lots of crap bits. But 95 gave us Flair turning on Sting.
Oh.
Again.
Yes, again.
I won't turn on you. I won't turn on you, lol.
I promise. There's a little dance.
It's how he fires up and then immediately turns back around.
November, Survivor Series versus Power Struggle.
Power Struggle?
Power Struggle.
Is that New Japan? Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming so.
No, wait. Power Struggle. It rings a bell so much.
New Japan.
Is it New Japan? Okay.
I'm still saying Survivor Series.
I'm saying, yeah, I've got a real soft spot for Survivor Series. I do. It's like the old pet that you don't want to put. You just keep it around forever.
If they can get over this whole brand war thing and just have it so it's just a way of storylines progressing, then we'll be fine again.
Yes.
They can shut down, if they can stop buying red and blue T-shirts every 11 months, and just go, hey, we're going to put together some teams of people who are feuding. Let's see what happens. That's so much better.
Yeah.
So much better.
One of the funniest things to me was when they used to have bragging rights immediately before Survivor Series. Thereby, but only Jericho would take bragging rights seriously. Do you know how happy Jericho was when they won bragging rights?
I'm glad somebody did, though.
Yeah, definitely.
December, TLC versus Armageddon versus Starrcade.
Starrcade.
Now, as I grew up, I only became a wrestling fan in like 2000, so I missed like nearly all of WCW at the time. So I don't really have any memories of Starrcade, so I'm going to have to go for Armageddon. I do remember everybody in the school playground desperately wondering who'd won that, or who was going to win that big 6-man Hell in a Cell when Rikishi falls under the flatbed and stuff. And we couldn't believe it when Kurt Angle won. We were like, no, he's not even the hardest one in that match. So Armageddon for those memes.
I was going Starrcade. I think it's rooted in history. There's been such a mixture of amazing Starrcade main events and awful Starrcade main events.
Yes,
the fact
Sting,
that
Hogan,
Sting, Brutus. Not Sting, Brutus.
Hogan, Brutus,
Hogan and the Butcher. Like Hogan getting his best mate into the main event of WWE's biggest pay per view is such a cardy bullshine. Yeah. I can't not love it.
That was a nice. That was a nice Reese's Pieces. Thank you. I'm so laughing. Thank you, Andrew Smith, for sending that in. And if you have any other Reese's Pieces, I'll just talk over them.
Get well soon again, by the way, sorry.
Yes, Andrew, take care. Yeah. Please. And if you have any Reese's Pieces to send our way, please do send it to the same place as above, mailbag@cultaholic.com.
It's Cultaholics.
Big question.
What a lovely podcast. Gonna do noises.
It's
podcast. The big question from ourselves this week, we just looked at the calendar and bloody hell, it's July. That means we're 6 months into a year. 12 months makes a year. We're halfway through the year. I'll have a little reflective look at the previous 6 months. What has been the best match so far of 2021? In your humble, well-educated, spiffing, erect opinions.
There's a few. There's the one that everyone's talking about recently was Shingo and Ospreay, and obviously a phenomenal match. But what I think was held down a bit by the fact that New Japan were kind of in panic booking mode. And for a match to be really match of the year, I want the story and the match to be both excellent. But not complaining at all about the action in the match, obviously. But I think New Japan's got some other candidates, like Jeff Cobb Shingo from Wrestle Kingdom, where it was just a bit of a sleeper hit on the card, and it was just two monstrous lads being very, very monstrous towards each other. I went a bit Tom Campbell there.
Very, very monstrous.
Very, very monstrous indeed. But so that might be mine tentatively, and the recent Stardom women's match, which I watched very recently as well, and that was insane. Fully deserved its big old rating from Meltzer and all of the acclaim, and yeah, amazing stuff. So those are mine, and they're all from Japan, so you know I'm cool.
Do you have some shades to put on? Okay,
yeah.
Ooh. I enjoyed Ospreay Shingo. I thought that was belter of an match. I really liked from AEW from the last pay-per-view, Revolution. It might be Revolution. My head's gone.
Double or nothing.
Omega versus Pac versus Orange Cassidy.
That was a great
was
match.
A stonker of a match, like a heck of a match between those two, and just they all worked so well together. And it's something when a match like that can also pull in a non-wrestling fan, because I stayed up to watch that, and Alex fell asleep behind me and woke up as that match was starting, and Alex likes Pac and was learning about Orange Cassidy, and Alex was just as gripped as I was. It's like they all work really well together. So I think a match is good when it can bring in a non-fan, and their disbelief is suspended as well. And I think it did a lot of that. So I think that one's a top favourite of mine. I actually like, and I know it's not. I know we mentioned earlier how it might not be necessarily the style of wrestling that Maffew always enjoys. But Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly from TakeOver. I thought they had a really good match. That first one they had, I thought was really good. Just excellently put together. Some innovative spots in there. If you like that sort of long, drawn out, kick out frenzy type of match, I think that's very top of the tree in how they do it. I really enjoyed that as well. So I'm going to say one of those two for me personally.
Nice. That Pac one's a great shot. I'd forgotten about it, even though it was so recent. And also, it reminded me a little bit of those multi-man NXT matches that he was in when he was NXT champion with like Tyler Breeze, and because you get little character moments woven into the action as well. That's great. There's one that I've remembered, a blatant one that I've missed out, but Maffew, go ahead.
You know what it's going to be.
Is it?
Oh, take your pick of Volta versus Ciampa.
Right.
Of course, if that doesn't tickle your biscuit, then there is, of course, Volta versus Rampage.
No, I didn't think it was going to be either of those, but yes, fair.
You didn't?
Wow. There's a blatant
what a great
one
week it was to be Walter and a fan of Walter.
There's a blatant one we've all missed off, but Maffew, there's a few Ciampa one as well was...
Yeah, so Ciampa's like, it's okay, all you need to do is avoid that chop, bugger. But those were good as well. Honorable mentions, just sort of do the Walter joke all the way in the ground. The Women's Rumble. Oh, okay. I thought was a lovely highlight, easily the highlight of that show. Did WrestleMania have any great... Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Reigns, Bryan, Edge. Because I remember it being a great experience there at WrestleMania, the 2 days. But was there any great matches? I'm like, yeah. No, that main event
That
delivered.
was good.
Bianca Sasha for me.
Oh,
you're right.
Yeah, they ended up a bit weird.
Bianca Sasha for me.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yes.
Yeah, that was the one where I was like, damn, how did I not... That was awesome. That made me... It was one of those matches where, like, not to be trying to be too cool about it, because it was Bianca's moment and everything, but it was one of those ones where I came away like, Sasha is insane. Like, she's one of the best. She's insane. But and she deserves her break, but I wish she was back.
Yeah. She'll be back soon.
Yeah.
Also, Eddie Kingston and John Moxley versus the Young Bucks from the last
Wow,
pay-per-view. Moxley selling. Good God.
Yeah.
I mean, if it hadn't been for the dud at the very end, I'd have gladly put in the no rope exploding barbed wire.
Oh, wait. Oh, yes. Yeah.
If it hadn't been for that, I loved everything up until that match up to that point. It was exactly what I want. FMW forever. Oh, we didn't mention, by the way, the Week in Wrestling. FMWE had their first ever event. I say first ever, it's just FMW back again. In the little indoor hall that they did it in.
Okay.
And they went all out with those explosions. With the fact that the smoke was filling out so badly that the shops next door had to ring the police and fire brigade, even though they were told it was happening. Yeah, no one could see anything. And can you believe it as well? Onita did not win.
Oh.
You forget that.
Speechless.
Also,
He never loses.
I'm sure there was one I just thought, it's not so much a match of the year candidate, but someone who's been so consistent and so good is Serena Deeb. I think she deserves a bit of a shout out as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's been
Shout out to similar style Jungle Boy.
Yeah, 100%. Oh.
And Roman Reigns, everything he's done that isn't in the ring.
It sounded like that you said rum and raisin.
And Roman Raisin. A fantastic flavour.
Jerry Garcia, all the best.
Acknowledge me as an ice cream flavour.
Hated for so many years as it being rammed down our throats. Now people are starting to appreciate Roman Raisin.
Isn't it funny, the idea that if you told somebody 6 months ago that Roman Reigns was going to pin Daniel Bryan and Edge at the same time at WrestleMania, like the internet would have caught fire. But just a few months along, they're like, that's absolutely the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Also, Bryan and Reigns. This also sounds like a Ben and Jerry flavour. At their singles match they had.
Oh yeah.
That was sweet. As was Brian Cage and Darby Allin.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was worried there weren't going to be that many good matches this year, but there actually has been quite a lot.
The Best Friends versus Miro and Kip arcade battle thingy.
Oh gosh, we've been spoiled this year, haven't we? Really, when you think about
that
it.
That one is one of the moments of the year for me. Like the ending was so wholesome. Sue was there. They're all giving her the thumbs up. Oh, Chris Statlander came back in that match. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Through the arcade machine, through the grabber, it was just... Mwah.
Yes.
And then the face posted on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Lots of good stuff.
There has been. That's good.
We're probably missing out a few, though.
Hey,
More
guys,
than likely.
If we are, you should leave.
Yeah, leave your...
Any thought? That's right. Below.
The comments down below.
Oh, wait, you've already done it.
Or if
because
you're
everyone
just
answers the
listening,
questions as they listen to the podcast. That's that bit of interactivity. Yeah.
or if you're just listening, then Google this video, find it, leave us a like, and then leave it down below. You know.
Yeah. And if any thoughts or matches left out, mailbag@cultaholic.com.
Yes.
And if you like the Hall of Fame bit, you can always go to patreon.com/cultaholic and do there. In fact, vote for your best match underneath as soon as you give us your money. And wait, lads, that's the end of the podcast.
What? That flew by.
It really did. That's
Less than 3 hours. What's going on?
God. I know, we had to cut lots of stuff out.
Did we cut out that massive rant that you did in the middle about Belgium, Maffew?
Oh, no, why do you have to? I was going to say, don't start that and then end it with foreigners. And there it was. It was. Thank you, Tom.
I meant Belgium. I meant, Foreigner, the band.
Yeah, there we go. That'll help.
That'll be fine.
But Tom, obviously you filled in for us this week, and we appreciate it a lot. Thank you very much. What else can people expect from you on the Cultaholic channel?
Right, so the Cultaholic Classic SmackDown review is tomorrow. If you want to hear more of Maffew and I talking, That's tomorrow on the podcast feed. And then next week, Desert Island Graps on the Wednesday with special guests. We talk about 3 wrestling matches they would love to watch while stranded on a desert island. Classic Raw review with Justin Henry from Off of America, our writer of the States. We've been watching every episode of Monday Night Raw from the very beginning. These are all available on the podcast feed, along with daily wrestling news, a 20-minute podcast all about the wrestling news. These normally come out before the videos come out. If you want to get something in your ears before you watch the videos, they're on the podcast feed as well. You can subscribe on all your major podcast providers to do that. So that is all the stuff I'm doing. Just that, I think. Just that. Back on Twitch next week. I've missed doing stuff on Twitch, but it's just been a fraught couple of weeks. I've not had a chance to do it, so back on Twitch next week. That's all my stuff, really. At Tom Campbell on Twitter. That's my Twitter.
Wonderful. Jack, what about yourself?
I would like to thank Tom, first of all, because I was about to make some kind of joke like, have you not been working hard enough, Tom? Because you've got a lot on the go at the minute. So I'd like to thank Tom not only for editing together, producing the first of Mitch's new series, which you can also find on the podcast feed, which is myself and Andrew having a debate with Mitch chairing it. And there's going to be, I believe, like a rotating cast. It's not always going to be me and Andrew.
Oh, yeah. We'll change it up each time, yeah.
But I want to thank Tom for that. And I also want to thank Tom and Maffew for last Friday, where we all got rather drunk. And it was a lovely night. And it was just one of those nights where it's just lovely to see people again. And I believe because of that, everyone got slightly carried away. Like, it was just a silly night.
It was going fine until Jaeger bombs came out. And
no,
then
it
it all went a
bit
bit
weird. It was when the pictures came out, which was at the start. So
I was fine with the pictures. It was when we started sending Jaeger bombs to the table. And I'm like, yeah, this has gone downhill in a hurry.
I have not had a hangover that
picture.
bad for quite some time. That was bad hangover.
Yeah, here's a picture for the table. We didn't order this, and all we see was Tom going.
Just Tom going, yay! So then obviously, me and Pachia sat there going, well, we can't let the new lads think that we're like, we had to be like, well, we've got to save it. Have you seen the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode where they pay tribute to each other in the restaurant, where they're like, buy them around, we're just paying tribute. It was like that. But yes, sorry, I've got the Fabes. The Fabes are still on the rise. It looks very much like me and Owen are going to actually win the league on Twitch next Wednesday at 6 p.m. We need one win from 3 games. So if we bottle it, it'll be spectacular. So that's also an incentive to watch, I suppose. But you might think, oh, that's not too dramatic. You're probably going to win. Don't worry, because it's also the end of season awards where you, the people, can vote in the Twitch chat for, player of the season, unsung hero, liability of the season, which is an award we invented because Football Manager, there's often annoying players. And yeah, should be good. So Twitch, 6 p.m. on a Wednesday. Maffew, what have you got?
First of all, Ross obviously isn't here, but he has did a lovely Straight to Hell with Nerd Cubed. So I think I'll promote that again, because Ross is lovely. And I hope you enjoy your time off, pal.
And a great conversation with Evil Uno he's had recently.
And Evil Uno, of course. Maffew's mate. And I will be streaming Twitch on Saturday, 6 p.m. I will be doing Aladdin for the Mega Drive.
The platformer?
Yeah.
That looks fiendish. That's
that's the game that my mum bought when I was a little Ben. And that was
I'll be doing Aladdin. Well, what's he done to you?
He's got a sword. You idiots. We've all got swords. I love it. What a film.
I used to love it until 10 seconds ago. But that is us. You is you. We're saying farewell. And to a certain wrestler on Raw, au revoir. And now we're going to put our hands up to the webcam. Pleasure talking to you as always. 1, 2, 3. We'll say the famous line. 1, 2, 3. Join us.
Maffew's doing Aladdin.
Get a lot of yous.